There we are. Hello, hello, welcome to Clickety Clackety Roll to Attackety. Let me close this other thing that's taking up all the space. There we go. Hello, welcome. I'm Smoggles. I'm not a robot, and I use he/him pronouns, and I will be the game master for City of Gods, a Pathfinder 2e adventure. And you will notice that if you've been to other episodes before, there are slightly less of us than there are usually. There is a story and a related reason for that. First of all, I'm going to say congratulations to Scarlett's sister who's getting married like this week, and that's why we don't have Scarlett with us. But that's what's happening, and I will pass it along to Molly.
Hello, my name is Molly, and I use they, them pronouns, and I'm Bombini in chat. I play Solio, who uses he, him pronouns. I hope you're writing this down. And I want to say congratulations to Megalosaurus Rex, who also just got married this weekend, and it was beautiful. And she looked like a Disney princess, and it was great.
So good.
I'll pass it to, I think it looks like Helena.
Hello. Yes, I am Helena. I use they and she pronouns. I am playing Garu, a Kitsune bard who uses he, him, they pronouns. And if he shapeshifts into someone more femme, maybe she pronouns. We'll see where this goes.
Do you have
and
anyone
I don't know anyone that's getting married.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know. Like the next wedding I'm going to is like in October of next year. I'm literally going to a bridal shower though, like in 2 days. So does that count?
That counts.
Acceptable.
Yeah, that counts for this round. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, this round. Next time I have to have another bridal event or
Yeah, what's the time on it? Is it like a full turn of combat, or does it have minutes?
Let's say after break, if we'll hopefully someone has getting married after break.
Chat, someone in chat, marry me. Okay, sort of, unless you're cute, you know.
Unless
Hey.
I can pass it on to Dex now because I'm the lowest.
Oh, hello, Internet. My name is Dexter. I have a last name. It's a secret. It's not. I don't know why I said that. Anywho, I'm playing Zarabita. Dexter's pronouns are he, they. Zarab's are they, them. There's some overlap. As far as people getting married, I don't know. Shout out to all the people getting married. If you're getting engaged, shout out to you and insert however long the engagement takes. But I hope you have like some fun times before then, hors d'oeuvres. Like, I don't know, may your wedding process be as stress-free as possible. It won't be, but like, vibe. Vibes.
Yes, please make it as stress-free as possible. You're legally required to not be stressed.
As part of the nap ministry, I will find you and eat your snacks.
Amazing.
You will rest.
You will rest.
I feel like I have to now replan this entire session because I feel like now I have to plan a wedding. But,
I was gonna say, is there a wedding now?
Yeah.
There's someone in the lizard folk tribe. There's somebody in the Knoll tribe. It's a Romeo Juliet situation.
Yeah.
We have to tie it up.
Tale as old as time. Song as old as crime.
And also, Me Williams says, shout out to them singles doing their damnedest.
Shout out to them singles. Shout out to us.
Yeah,
I don't know why, but I immediately thought of craft singles.
Yeah. Every single person gets a craft single mailed to them. It's refrigerated, don't worry. If you're lactose, it's vegan.
In dry ice.
Yeah.
One slice.
I did.
And it's like in an envelope, but you open the envelope and it's like a puff of the dry ice.
Yeah. The production value, we love it.
That is great. There was really a funny moment. I went to a seafood restaurant last weekend, and I got oysters, and they brought a thing of oysters. And if if you haven't had oysters before, when you get raw oysters, they put it all on ice, and in the center they'll put all the different sauces. But one of the things they did was they also had a little cup that had water and dry ice in the water, so that it gave a little fog effect. And the amount of
Hey.
tables that they had to go to and just go, okay, these are the sauces, and this is just for show.
This
Just
is
like-
the gimmick.
Don't eat
Do
this.
not eat the gimmick.
Yeah, let's not
Please
get
don't
sued,
eat
my dude.
My
Yeah.
God. You know,
But as
someone
someone
probably
who worked-
did.
As someone who worked at Lush, that's very real. People will put stuff in their mouths like you wouldn't believe.
The
Like,
shower
you know
jellies,
this
I
is
bet
safe.
were.
As someone who understands why people would want to, as someone who is constantly tempted, if my lizard monkey brain smells a thing that smells like a berry, if it's berry sized, if it's very vaguely berry shaped, my brain thinks, snack?
That is berry.
No?
Fruit
Smell
gusher.
berry?
Snack.
Lies.
that,
Fiction.
that is very good snack.
very good.
Exactly.
Very good snack.
Oh, it's so
I-
sad that this is Sam's last time GMing for us. Wow.
Truly. Sorry. Guess we should do a show, huh?
Sorry, I have on my channel, I have a laugh track that goes when I make these jokes, and I really should add it here.
You should.
Yeah.
To really get everyone's actual reaction to my bad jokes.
Oh, boy.
Anyway, last episode, our demigods landed in the jungles of Argoth. Argoth being the god of war in the land of Torrent, which I'm sure is not a foreboding name in any way, shape, or form. They landed in this amongst the Razorback tribe, which is a tribe of lizard folk that live within the jungles of Argoth. Immediately, they got to work trying to figure out how they could help this mortal tribe amongst this entire situation. Finding out that they had been asleep for 2 weeks, finding out they had crashed from the sky into this village, and also finding out that they are encountering more mortal troubles, like needing rest, like suddenly food, which was something, if they wanted to, they ate for fun, was suddenly incredibly necessary for their survival. And also just the feeling of all of a sudden getting exhausted by the physical work they were doing, either helping repair bridges or foraging for supplies, for ingredients, all of that. They also learned that the spiritual leader of this tribe, Dashunt, also was noticing that something was wrong. As they are aware, the demigods are aware that the city in the sky, Kelenoth, is currently split into many chunks high above the sky, but no one else seems to notice it. However, Dashunt, a mortal, seems to have this idea or this feeling that the sky is on fire, and is also not receiving dreams anymore from the demigod that is the patron for the Razorback tribe, known as Celthia. Our demigods here decide to assist Dashunt in going on an expedition to Celthia's shrine to see if maybe where the center of her power is, they could actually communicate with her. During that time, the demigods discover two very important things. One, Celthia is definitely no longer has her demigod powers or isn't communicating with the Razorback tribe. And also, a rival tribe, a Gnoll tribe known as the Bloodfangs, seem to be missing their demigod as well, known as Scrimmage. They blamed the Razorback tribe and a battle ensued. That battle, thankfully, even though there was bloodshed, did not result in any casualties. However, tensions are growing as these different two tribes in the jungles of Argoth have now lost their demigods and don't know where they are. So these demigods now decide they are going to see if they can discover where Celthia is. Did she land in the jungles of Argoth? Is she alive? Unfortunately, unbeknownst to 3 of our demigods, Shen has also been taken away by someone. But that might be a problem for another time, or maybe a problem for now, as our demigods go in search of Celthia or any trace of the other demigods that might have fallen. And so we begin City of Gods, Episode 3. Welcome to the jungle. All right. So, before we get into our continuation of our investigation, I do want to bring up something that is a little different if people are in the audience are more used to Dungeons and Dragons. That's a little different in Pathfinder. And that involves what happened in the last battle. So I believe the only people who took any damage, thankfully, were Shen and Solio, unless anyone else did. I don't recall.
No.
Or they got healed if that happened. Solio, what is your current HP compared to your previous?
I have it at full, but let me check my notes.
Oh, you might have gotten. I think you might have gotten healed by.
I think I was
Zareb,
healed.
yeah, and
Zarabita did a heal, and he, yeah.
Okay, so we're all good there. For future reference, if we do, if you are injured and there's no healing abilities available, there is a long rest available in the actual game of Pathfinder. However, it's slightly different. You will need an entire day and night of rest, and that will heal you health points equal to your Constitution modifier, a minimum of 1, times your let me make sure I'm getting this right. I think it's plus your max level, your level times 2. So let me just get how that actually works.
Math.
Well, the good news is, okay.
Depending on where you are,
multiplied
it's
by
plural.
twice your level. So, for example, Solio, what's your Constitution modifier?
Me?
Yes.
It sure is. Let me tell you about how it is. 2. It's 2.
Did not mean for that to be a pop quiz, but I just wanted to make an example for it.
The date is different. The numbers are in different places.
Oh yeah, no, it definitely is. So for Solio's example, if Solio took a day and night of rest, Solio would recover hit points equal to 2 times, 2 times 4, because that's twice your level. So total of 8 hit points would be healed. So that's how it works. You definitely don't. It's not like a little reset button when you rest for a day. So, but
Can
thankfully,
I ask a quick question?
yeah,
There are potions in this game
there are.
because I bought some, and then I said great, and now I still have them. Who are
You-
they? Are they? We don't have to get super into it. I was just
Well,
like,
I think if you have gear that was from episode 1, that gear with the exception of the, oh, you mean you bought potions during when you were buying? Yes. So those take an action if you are attempting to like
that
drink
makes
a
sense.
potion, because it's basically using an a liquid. You're using it to activate an item, and then you can also give it to other people and stuff like that.
Yeah, I did consider yeeting it to someone, and then I decided at one point that was,
Yes,
not a
I
great
mean
idea in the jungle.
it would have been a risk, but it would have been an interesting. um, so you you have like the evening to rest after everything that has happened, and you know you're going to meet Deshunt in the morning to discuss what um your options are for trying to find Selphia. The chieftain of the Razorback tribe gave you full permission to work with Deshunt to investigate this, especially since tonight would be, but may have to be delayed, the celebration of their victory in the yearly melee that the Razorback tribe won. So you all wake up feeling strangely groggy, because usually if you're doing a rest when you were in your immortal selves, it just did not feel like you were struggling to make yourself alert, based on everything that was happening. And you meet at Dashun's hut in the trees. One person that does not show up for some reason seems to be Shen.
Well, they seemed a little how shall we say, fiery last night. Snappy. Their snapdragons were snapping at us. So perhaps they just needed the morning. Could be.
Well, it certainly is an adjustment. I understand why the mortals love their coffee so much. Does it ever? Are y'all also experiencing the whole? It's taken a while to process being alive again.
It's
Oh,
yes.
yes.
Okay, cool. I don't think I'm a morning person. I never thought about it before. It never became a thing. But I just feel this general rage at existence that is new. That's new.
Thank you
Yes,
for
well-
sharing that with us.
Yeah.
I don't feel rage. I think I just feel confusion. I don't know if that goes away. I guess I have felt that goes away as time goes on, but I feel like
Sure.
today, do you all feel like today it's worse? Like today
Yes.
it's worse.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, today somehow feels like yesterday because now time feels distorted in some sense. Because, we're experiencing things at a human level and things feel slow around here,
And
which
yet,
is not bad.
Sure.
yeah. And yet so
Like,
fast.
this is why. And yet so fast. And this is why people have time to write, and they also do not have time to write. It's very,
Just kind of feels like, depending on when you observe us, the feeling changes. You know, like sometimes it's going slow, but sometimes it's going fast.
Yes, but certain activities make things feel very fast. Like yesterday when
Sure.
we were all in the heat of battle. I mean, I never felt more alive. I don't know if that's a shared feeling, but I
Yeah,
was
no, it's
fearful.
cool.
I was
It's great.
a little worried. Maybe not fearful. I was a little
Sure.
on edge, maybe. Yeah, just
Well, it
exhilarated.
definitely did feel like the run back took forever because my lungs were just they were working so hard, and normally we just kind of we're at the next place, but we had to use our legs. Like,
Yes.
running like mortals.
Yeah, I do. I will say I miss the canals. I don't know how much of that is just is demigod stuff or just like I swim a lot. But yeah, the running is hard. It's hard on your legs,
Yeah.
and you gotta keep going. And
Absolutely.
the ground doesn't help you.
It doesn't. It's like, okay, hey, you got to be an active participant too,
Right.
which is different because before, like, I didn't have to worry about my calves, and now I have to put in work to maintain.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I saw some of the hunting party doing this stretch, and Gary will do a little lungy calf stretch,
Oh, that
and
is so
I
strange.
find it rather helpful. It might actually
Yeah.
make us even faster.
Oh, I'll try that as well.
I try it also.
Yeah, when
Is this
you
happening as we're walking to Deshunts?
I
Yeah.
actually just because this sounds great, let's everyone roll an athletics check.
Love that.
Who's gonna pull a hammy?
Oh, let's see.
I would say that this was happening inside the Dashin's hunt as you're waiting for Dashin's at a meeting with the chieftain, so he'll be there in a little bit. So you have this time to do that.
That is a 9.
19. Max.
15.
So Garrow, you're doing a good job demonstrating how that lunge goes. Solio, I mean, you have had the thing about swimming in the canals is that you do have strong legs, so the biggest difficulty is actually just, allowing yourself to kind of sink into the lunges as it's going. And Zara, these are painful. This is like you've never had to actually do this type of stretch before. So it
Yeah.
is very much such a painful thing to have to actually do, especially when you watch how
Why don't you
deep.
just use your wings?
Yeah, exactly.
Just use those.
It's crazy how
Yes.
Ah,
You just move this way because they're calves, and perhaps if you just
Sure.
milk the exercise for all it's
I feel
worth.
like I understand the theory of it, but the practice just feels like I am gonna be rant asunder.
Maybe take it in small doses, or not at all if you don't like it. It probably isn't for everybody. I mean, everybody seems to be very unique around here.
I feel like I've seen so many mortals stretch, and how can it not be for me? Ooh, there's a thing called warming up. I think I've heard them say first.
Yes.
To like hop around a bit before they do stuff.
Yes, the jumping Jacksons. I'll go
Jumping
for that.
Jacksons.
Mhm.
All right. One Jumping Jackson. Two
Two
Jumping
Jumping
Jackson.
Jackson.
Wow, this is three Jumping Jackson.
Anyway,
It's
Swimming
slightly
also great exercise.
actively
uh,
dying.
you're all slightly winded. Some of you are more sore than others as Deshunt enters his hut. Um, and he comes up and sees you all stretching, some more successfully than others, and he goes, oh, I'm really glad to see that y'all are. I chose this voice for the person you're gonna interact with the most, and my
Love that.
vocal cords are
Good.
gonna hate
Love that
me.
for you.
Juicy.
I'm really glad that you all are getting ready for the next adventure. So uh we have a couple of options to investigate how to where Celthia might be. So of course there is the Bloodfangs, as you have met, who are not very happy with us right now, as they seem to have lost their demigod as well. Um, but there are many tribes within the jungles of Argoth. But there are two others who are kind of the main competitors in the melee. It's really the four of us who are usually the favorites when we win. One of them is known as the Steelfoots. So they are very they have a lot of weird mechanical creations that they make. They use steel because I think they have the one kind of steel mine in that's nearby in Argoth. So they have a lot of different mechanical creations they use. And then there's also the Bright Hands. They're a bunch of orcs that are really about well, you've probably noticed we're a little bit more about community and looking after each other. These the Bright Hands, your rite of passage is being able to survive 5 days in the jungle by yourself. So they very very much value the ability to survive on your own and the individual in that way.
To be a hero as opposed to a collective.
Oh, yeah, I guess, yeah. They're. I mean, each of them has a patron demigod, and their one Cantha is very much seems to have that kind of thing in mind. Um, if any of you want to roll either society checks, if you want to know more about the tribes, or religion checks if you want to see if you've heard anything about the demigods that are patrons to these tribes.
I'll do society checks.
Great.
Should I do one for each?
No, you can just do one, and you will see what we get.
Roll of religion then.
Great.
Ooh.
That's a 10.
That is a nat 1 before modifier.
It's okay.
Are you sure
It
that's
is
the
a
name
fun
in the
scroll.
Pantheon? Are you sure that's actually
Yeah.
how it's said?
I will deal with Solio's 10 first.
It's still waking up. It's
yeah.
lack of coffee.
We need lizard folk coffee stat.
Need some Folgers.
Lizard Folgers.
Yeah.
So the you unfortunately, this, for a lot of you, this is the first time you've heard about the jungles of Argoth, so it has never been in your purview. The one thing you can imagine is that if if there is one tribe that is like a bunch of heroes and orcs, a lot of these are very warrior tribes. If there's one that's mostly mechanical creations, you would have seen a giant mechanical creation somewhere around here, which gives you the idea that maybe the tribe could be possibly smaller in stature. It could be either, halflings, dwarves, gnomes, maybe even goblins. Like, that's the type of thing that you would imagine, because otherwise because the way that Dashan describes him sounds like it's, full-on steel golems, and you would have heard like a big crunching sound, you think, if there were golems around. Or they're just far away. So, but that's
Or
kind of
their
an impression
god,
you
or
get.
they rely on their god's power.
Right. And Zareb, so here's the thing.
Mhm.
You, best part, waking up as spell slots in your cup. Fantastic.
Nice.
Minus the incest. I
was going
I
to
will
make-
not get distracted by the incest commercial.
Folgers.
I'm not doing
You're
that.
my present this year. .jpg.
Oh no.
Or you're not.
Cursed.
Do you know this one, Dex? Do you know this?
Oh, I don't think I do. This sounds like some cursed content.
We'll send it to you in the Discord.
Please do.
Or
Okay,
in
but
chat.
I do feel like I can't leave the audience who hasn't heard about this
Yeah.
before. So, Folgers, not sponsored, had a commercial during, I don't remember if it was Christmas,
Christmas.
but it was
Mhm.
Christmas, yeah. So
Yeah.
it was this person like wakes up to the smell of, every Folgers commercial is like waking up to the smell of Folgers coffee. And she wakes up and she's like so excited. She runs downstairs and it turns out that her brother's back. And he is like, "Hey, I got you a present." And like they're sharing some
Mhm.
coffee. And then she
Oh,
goes,
nice.
"You're my present this year." And the way they look at each other, it was not in the prompt, but it looks like that's not brotherly and sisterly love.
It's giving life
It's a
with
long
Derek.
commercial, and it's like it's their whole interaction is like
Oh,
weirdly
no.
like
Yeah.
What in the land?
There's like little touches and giggles, and it's like,
Oh no, not on sibling.
Yeah. If it-
Megan dropped it in the chat.
Yep, Meg just
Thanks,
dropped it.
Megan.
Thank you so much. So
It's-
now everyone can see this curse commercial. Don't go
Curse.
away. Wait till during the break to watch this thing.
Mhm.
It'll be there.
Going away from that, Zareb,
Mhm.
you have had zero interest in anything to do with the God of War, because I mean, I am certainly happy
Always
for
messing
if
with
you
my
want to come
schedule.
up with a reason why, like maybe he
Uh-huh. Oh, I've got
maybe
a reason.
he got involved with
Mhm.
something that might have interrupted a case that you were working on. Someone came
Yeah.
into the cafe.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I'm
no, I
sure
remember
you've
that
encountered-
Incident. I remember that incident.
Yeah, I'm
Mhm.
sure you've also encountered many veterans who are dealing with maybe some PTSD from
See, that's the issue with God's of War. They
yeah.
always say, "Oh, hey, you know what? You can die in glory," but they don't talk about the ones who don't. They don't talk
Yeah.
about the ones who don't die in glory. They talk about the ones who get to tap out when they're done, and not about the ones who then have regrets after the fact. You know, what happens after you save the world? After you save everything that you needed to? Who saves you? Answer: it's me. It's me. And I'm tired. And I'm tired of always having to interact with God's war who don't think about the consequences. So now I don't generally have time or energy
Yeah,
cheating at
so-
cards. But that's not the point.
Yeah, so all of that to say, like, you're genuinely did not have any need to interact with anyone related to Argoth, and probably didn't even know that Argoth had demigods under him. And it's sounding like if there is a group of demigods that are part of the jungles of Argoth, they are very likely demigods of war and of certain types of war. And you know, the two that you have met now are the two you have met at this moment now are or not that you've met at this moment, that you have heard about based on your encounter with the Bloodfangs and with the Razorback tribe are. I was going to get this perfectly. Yeah. So Scrimmage is the patron of the Bloodfang tribe. Scrimmage is the demigod of the ritual battle. And then Celthia, you learn, is the demigod of camaraderie. And
The fun part of war.
the fun part.
Reds.
You don't know, but you don't know anything about the demigods that the Steelfoots or the Bright Hands worship. But you know that there probably must be because, based on your experience with the Razorpack and Bloodfangs. And you also don't know if they've actually encountered, they can still communicate with their demigods.
Good to know. So we are keeping an eye out for Ritual Rage and Captain Trauma Bond.
Well, the good thing about Ritual Rage is usually there are costumes and sceneries, and it's a very
Sure.
theatrical thing. So perhaps that will it'll tell on itself for us. Man, my words
could
are
be
not
helpful.
coming easily at all. Yes, and then I guess we can listen to the sound of metal on metal for the other group. Is there one place that you think we should start looking, Dashant? Like, is there one tribe that maybe is more I don't know, receptive of strangers?
Well, if you, I mean, I suppose, or if any of you are good at single combat, a good way to impress the Bright Hands is to defeat one of them in a duel. I honestly have never had an actual real interaction with a Steelfoot because usually they're behind their big mechanical creations. So they're usually using like voice distorters too. So yeah, I don't actually know what any one Steelfoot actually looks like.
Well, hold on now.
This is
They've
so
got voice
hard because
disorders?
I'm like, trying to stay positive.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so much about being live that's so cool. But like, I keep hearing you talk about these people and they've got all this cool stuff. And I think, oh, it's so cool. But then I have to have concerns. Like, then I have to think, uh-oh, will that hurt me? Before, when I heard, if I heard someone be like, oh, they use big golems and things.
I understand.
And now
I
feel
understand your
oh.
concern. Oh, yeah, yes. Oh, you're worried if they're gonna murder you the moment that they see you.
We do have to be on the lookout for murders.
Oh, yes. No, the thing that's probably gonna murder us in the jungles is probably, tigers, giant centipedes, any of the other many creatures that could probably make a meal out of us. But part of the reason we do the yearly melee is because that's how we kind of get our competition out of the way. So we're very peaceful and remain pretty distant from each other and respect our territories once when it's not the yearly melee.
Where you purge. those emotions and needs for violence. Well, I mean, we could draw straws about where we go first. Do either of you have any sort of idea? And where is Shen?
Well, if you're able to actually go to the site where the melee takes place, we don't usually, travel to each other's locations, but there is every tribe has their own entrance into the stadium, for lack of a better term, for the for that. So you could go there, and everything's clearly labeled about where everyone's from. So you could just maybe track them down from there.
And are there
Yes.
representatives in the area to just, I guess, keep watch, or is it more like there's a billboard or pamphlets that we can just peruse at our leisure?
We just meet there at the same time each year.
Okay.
So we just have to
Okay.
find the well-labeled entrance and then trace the path of the champions back to their own abodes.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Uh.
really the way I know that it's happening is Selfie usually is like, hey, it's time for the melee. And so we gather our warriors and head over.
Got it.
Fascinating.
And just to review, when was the last time you heard from Sylvia?
My last real dream from her was probably about 2 weeks ago.
Okay, 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago
and
was also when the city fell.
I see. And
God,
for y'all
that's so
too,
crazy that those
um,
happened at the same time. But
just under just sidebar real quick with just my compatriots here. When was the last time y'all two heard prayers while we're waiting on Shan to come down? When was the last time y'all received prayers?
I
no,
have
not.
nothing.
Although I did, but did anyone else? Who else was around? We saw that guy glow a little bit, and then he wasn't glowing anymore.
There's a guy
It was
gone.
specifically
true.
Deshant. It was
Deshant
Deshant that
glowed.
glowed.
I saw the chunk glow. It looked like there was going to be an ember, but then nothing. It like,
Fizzled.
yes.
There's prairie dog in the ember.
Perhaps it's about being close to places that are actually important to the deity, or close to people that are important to the deity or demigod. So, I mean, the Shunt here seems to have a deep connection with Selphia. I mean, dreams, a little romantic. But maybe there are certain items or places that have this energy. It's a kind of a holy grail type of quest.
Well,
I like it best.
I do know that Celthia's favorite animal is the ball python, as you know. So,
So you're saying go get a bunch of ball pythons?
well, I'm saying sometimes my strongest connection has usually been at a nest.
Is
So get a
there
bunch.
well, maybe not
Mhm.
take them from their home,
Make a nest. No.
or go to an existing one. I mean, I would imagine these are quite large nests.
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
not here.
We usually have to go, and she would probably know better about looking for
there
pythons.
There's other guides, right? I'm not saying.
There's literally anyone
And
else,
she-
right?
The vibes are so. I'm sorry, I don't mean to disrespect.
Rancid.
Absolutely
Disgusting.
rotten.
Sorted,
Rough.
unseasoned,
Mhm.
stale,
Unmoisturized, out of her
Just
just
lane.
out of
not thriving.
exactly out of lane.
Yeah.
Absolutely no tea, no shade, of course.
Right, no, it's
with all respect,
But I will have some more
all
coffee.
due respect. Sure.
Uh,
Are we
well,
rude?
I'm. I.
Are we rude? Not
Yeah,
after
correct.
all,
Yes,
not after
you
everything we've just
are
been
right.
through. We
Yes,
have
that's
been
true.
so kind.
Yes. Is Angie named after anchovies? That's a weird thing to ask, but what is the full name?
Oh no, but anchovies are her favorite seafood.
Mm,
That tracks.
yeah. Okay. Great.
I always thought that was a coincidence, at least.
Well, she just seems salty all the time, so works.
Huh.
Yeah, she's a little bit tough. It took me a while during my first few years as shaman to get her respect at all. Even then, I think I only half have it, but
Sure.
it's something.
Because
It's
when we
more than
go
she respects
down,
most people.
that's yeah. Well, yes. No, for real. For real.
That is a market improvement.
So when we go down, are we gonna? It's just us,
Oh,
Well, and Shan once they're out of bed.
right?
oh, that's a good question. Because, I mean, you have gone on an excursion now. Oh, I suppose I should probably ask the chieftain about that because, I mean, technically, we would want you to be joining a group, a hunting party, but also, I don't know how much under wraps we're keeping the whole what you're doing here thing.
Espionage.
Yeah.
And you
And
want to keep
probably
your
a
defenses
large-
because I know y'all said you're very peaceful, but those bloodfangs.
Yeah. Well, also, I'm sure seeing a bunch of lizard folk enter a territory will probably seem like aggression, even if that's not what we
Sure.
mean it as.
Yeah,
So I think that
absolutely.
might be that we might need to talk to the chieftain to see if she feels you can go on your own to do that.
Let's ask about that,
Mhm.
and then maybe a question for you, Dashunt, is if on our way to this arena, you could route us to where we might maybe encounter one of these python abodes, nests. Is there one on the way? Can we make a trip of it?
Well, I know you. How about you talk to the chieftain about getting the permission to go by yourselves, and I will try to find Anshi and see if she has an idea of any nests that you can plot. And I'll see what I can find.
Excellent. Thank you, Dashunt.
Cool. Should one of us go find Shen, or should we do that first and then go to the chieftain? Or like
Probably
see
swing
if
by
there's
on the way.
like a
Run up
concept of how much time has passed. You know.
At what point do you get the missing poster out?
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, I don't know Shen extremely well. I mean, in passing, as I've known all of you. So
Sure.
maybe they just need time to process. They got kind of, for lack of a better term, pulpy yesterday.
Mm. Oh, that is a good term. Pulpy.
Yeah.
Pulp.
Tree pulp.
Tree pulp.
Bit of a tree
Pulp.
pun, slightly forced,
Mm.
shallow rooted pun. But
I am also gonna give a reminder. I'm not gonna have you roll for it because you have been with each other for a little bit. You also know that Shen is one of the few demigods that was raised to demigod status, having been immortal already. So
Oh, right.
Shen,
Right.
you know, it's been
They know
about
what they're
300
doing.
years. Yeah, it's been about 300 years, but Shen does have more experience being immortal than any of you do.
Oh, that must have been just. I mean,
You
that's
know-
just a hop, skip away. You know,
Yeah, pretty
That's
much.
not too bad.
experts should be leading this expedition.
Not no, indeed. But maybe they'll come back. We can like loop into
Yeah,
it, like
you
where
know,
we were
we can
saying on the way
always
back up.
swing around, you know.
Or I could just I'd write a little note for them when they come back with our
Sure,
plan.
sure,
So once we have a plan, I'll leave a note for
Mhm.
them. I don't want to be pushy
sure.
since we
And it's
are
better
kind
to
of
leave a final draft rather than a first draft, you know.
correct.
Make it look like you knew what
Yes.
you're doing when you made the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Great. Okay, so let's just go find a chieftain and see what they say. Though, do we know the chieftain's name? We should definitely ask. I've just been saying chieftain.
Oh, you've
Oh,
probably
I've just
heard it
been
at some
avoiding
point.
it.
The chieftain's name is Yisk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chieftain Yisk. Oh, yes, I did know this. I'm just gonna write this down for Helena.
Yes.
Chieftain Yisk.
Yes.
Yes. Great.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
let's climb the tree. Trees.
Climb the tree
Is,
up.
is there a pulley or something? Because how do we get up and down again?
There are
I'm sorry. How do
ladders.
we get up and down? Jim?
Yeah, there's ladders. So it's a little bit of like, you know, if you want the shortcut, there's a ladder to get between levels. But the platforms naturally slope up, so
Mhm.
that you can have different levels within the same tree. So they're
Sure.
each tree, because of how large they are, has about 3 levels in it, but they
Mhm.
like kind of naturally slope up, and then there are bridges that connect various trees high above the jungle.
Mhm.
But in terms of the actual jungle itself, to prevent animals from, you know, just getting into the village, there is a lift system to actually be brought down to the jungle floor.
Well, I guess it is an opportunity to better understand our constituents. So I won't take the lift, and I will instead climb.
You'll be fine. You know, we're going to get very, very good at this. Our gams are gonna look beefy. Why is there so
Mhm.
many animal terminologies with regards to body parts? Have you noticed that?
I don't know
Calves,
why.
hamstring,
Hamstring,
beefy,
beef. Ooh,
oh,
I feel for a steak.
a
And that's the
mutton
thing.
sleeve.
We're mortals are always eating. It was always for fun before, and now we have to, just to maintain for what?
Yeah.
Who designed like? Well,
It's
not my
rough.
department, but I did not design any of this.
You're
Yes.
smelling some like really good meat that's being cooked by a fire as you walk by, and all of a sudden
Oh,
you feel, for some of you, you suddenly feel your your stomach start to growl.
oh, I feel that in my tumbles. That's a new.
Okay.
That's a new term. You've made a new term. Tumbles.
Tumbles.
Tumbles equals tummy, and now I can't get out of this damn voice.
Uh,
Okay, it's a great voice.
Thank you.
It's comforting.
So you all get to Chieftain Yiska's hut, and you tell her about what is necessary, and she fully gives you permission to go on your own, and she said she will let the guards know to let the 3 of you down by yourselves.
And shall we
Yeah.
say, if we're not back in, I don't know, how long could this take? 2 days?
Well,
How much could a banana cost? $11?
It probably will take about half a day to travel to the arena. And then I'm not really sure how long it takes in order to get to the other tribes. As you probably know, we really only encounter each other within the melee itself, and we have our very distinct borders beyond that, but we don't really know the actual extent to how far it takes one tribe over the other to get to the arena itself. But what
Right,
if?
so a week?
Yes, let's say if we don't hear from you in a week, we'll send a hunting party at least to the arena to try to see if you've made it back or encountered trouble.
Or at least
in
retrieve our carcasses.
Yes. We'll give you a proper lizard folk burial.
Oh,
Oh, that's
Thank
very
you. That is
nice.
very sweet of you. That is very kind.
thank you.
Where do we go when we? Anyway, yeah. Well, let's. I'm gonna make us a picnic basket for the trip and not think
Yay.
about that.
Yes, we are not thinking about death. We are thinking about the preservation of life and of spirituality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep. I'm thinking about death.
Yeah, no,
Yes,
I
me
am.
too.
That is at the forefront of the mind.
Right.
Though speaking of death, maybe Shan has some opinions. Or at the very least,
Yes.
let me know what kind of sandwiches y'all want. I've heard those are very portable, very popular with immortals.
Yes, I would like a well, I mean, if you can swing it, poached pear with brie and arugula, maybe a little bit of mustard. It's kind of a lot.
Brie
Maybe not. You don't have to
and
poach the pear.
arugula. Oh, if I can. Poached pear with brie and arugula and a bit of mustard. And what about you, hon?
Ham.
Okay.
Ham.
Yep. Ham. Cool. Love that.
Thank you.
Of course. And I guess a
Shen kind
nice patch of sunlight for the
Yes,
photosynthesis.
we could make something on the way. We could forage for them.
Mhm.
But I'm going to go write a quick note outlining what we're. Actually, no. I guess we should see Deshunt before I write the note. So never mind. We'll
Sure,
see
sure.
Deshunt and then I'll write the note.
So as you're making the sandwiches, Zareb, the biggest complication is that there's definitely arugula. You can find something that's pear-like. You
That
are
is
able to find
pear-adjacent.
ham, but oh my god, there is no mustard here.
Okay. Is there anything even mustard adjacent or something that could substitute that fills a similar niche as mustard?
You know what's fun about running a TTRPG? You learn life lessons as well. And for the first time in my mortal career, I'm going to look up mustard substitutes.
We'd love to see it.
Horseradish.
Horseradish.
I was gonna ask if like maybe
wasabi.
like a radish.
A little
Like
bit.
mustard has some heat to it. It can, depending on the kind, it can be a little like add a little spice of flavor.
Are you thinking like?
Fine.
Are you thinking? Yeah.
The thing is, you could go.
It's like as something that's more of like an accent, just
Well,
because I
yeah.
have
So
not used this before, so I don't want to go overbearing with the taste.
yeah. So Garu, is it like, is it like Dijon or spicy brown mustard?
Yeah, I was
or
thinking
it's like
more
yellow?
on the Dijon coupon.
Okay. So yeah,
In the mustard spectrum towards that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fancy.
You're able to use horseradish as a very, I don't know who mentioned horseradish first, but that was very much correct. That was like the first one. The other one was wasabi, and I feel like that's just dangerous to just be like, all right, our replacement for spicy mustard is wasabi, and
Delicious.
because of proportions.
Deal with that.
Good to know. Good to know.
Great. So, yeah. So Deshunt does go up to you all, and he goes, okay, so I do know you don't know the forest as well as we do, so I did draw what I think is the route to get to. Oh, I should roll for this.
Come on,
No,
roll.
you just do it really well.
Oh, I should have added some
I
rolls.
think is the mat for to
Damn.
get to the arena, and this little X here is kind of the area that Anshi says they had last seen a python nest. The it is a bit based on the map that you see. It is a little bit uh is a little off track. You make me a survival check, whoever wants to.
I will do.
I have a 1 in that. Somebody else should do
Let
this.
me double check. I think I have a high survival.
I
have a
believe
plus
in you.
7.
Ooh, come on, +7.
Noise.
Might have 7 one of mine.
That's a 17.
So
Oof,
based
yeah.
on what Chieftain Yisk said to you, and based on your kind of hoping against hope that if Deshunt drew this, that it's actually to scale. The detour to do this would extend your half-day trip to the arena to possibly a full-day trip. So it would be a significant detour, totally possible, but it would be a significant detour. So basically, I would say that your kind of options here are you can head straight towards the arena and see which tribe you want to talk to, and you may or may not get clues as to where Celthia or Scrimmage might be, and you also might get information on their demigods to find out if they're having any trouble or if their demigods are actually fine and everything's hunky-dory. Or you could go to the ball python nest, which, if Deshunt is correct, it could give you a better indication, maybe, on where Celthia may be. And at the very least, that's something she's, like, drawn to. On the other hand, of course, you all know that a lot of your demigod abilities have severely diminished. So you also don't know where that is. So both have their pros and both have their cons in terms of where you might go in that sense.
Well, not to persuade one way or the other, given our recent reduction in options and capabilities, I will say, there's a possibility that she would not notice us if we were to show up at her favorite little hideaway and offer up, well, maybe not prayers, that's kind of weird, but if we ring and maybe no one's there, which I guess they probably wonder a good bit, but at the very least, maybe more options are at the stadium, area. Also, I just feel like that could be a lovely little place for a picnic, just cultural event side. While we're here, we might as well see the sights. Learn what it is to be mortal and a tourist.
Mortal tourist. Yeah, I am also of the camp that perhaps we just go straight towards the arena, the stadium. It'll keep us safer for longer. It's just a gut feeling I have.
Fair.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds great.
And who knows?
Sure.
Maybe
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I just think, I feel like before, you know, earlier in my life, I felt like, is Deshunt here with us?
Are you saying in terms of you want to start chatting about being demigods right now?
A little bit.
Yeah, I can say that he's doing something else right now and isn't listening.
Okay. I say, I don't you feel like I feel like before I just kind of knew what to do, and like I just feel like I may have to make a lot of choices down here. Well, you know, we were always in here. I just feel like, you know, my brain is dry. My brain feels dry. You know, so if you
Mhm.
all think that the arena is good, I also think that, and I, you know,
Sure.
yeehaw.
It's well, absolutely yeehaw. Um, it is. It's certainly an adjustment. Uh, this is the first time in. Well, I'll not date myself, but um, it is the first time in a long time that my schedule book has been indefinitely open. Um, so we make our adjustments and we do what we can.
Hmm.
You know, maybe we learn who we are when we're not on the clock. That's an opportunity.
Right. Outside of the flow.
Yep.
Ah, yeah.
And you know
We
what?
make our
Mortals,
own flow.
yeah, exactly. Mortals go through their entire lives without a purpose sometimes, and they're just fine.
Are
Cries in
they?
Helena.
Oh no. Yeah.
Well, no. And you know what? I don't want to bring down the vibe, and so I will say you're right, and I will say I love it. And I'm hold on one second. I need to take a second. Okay. Yep. Let's go. Let's go to the arena. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be so
Trivia.
great. He
Amazing.
claps Zareb on the back.
Wang is still tender there.
Oh, so
No, you're so good. You're so good. Did you want crust on or off the your ham sandwich?
I trust you to make that choice for me.
You know what? Well, some of them will have the crust then, and others will not, and I will gauge your reaction surreptitiously. I say under my breath.
Cool.
Yep.
The shunt says, I do have one more thing. Um, uh, and, and she asked me if the fox one was going, and said, and when I said yes, said good, they may actually have a chance at surviving ball pythons then, and wanted me to give you this. And Garu, you it is a is like a fabric that kind of looks like you remember the fabric being used by some of the hunters, that would be used kind of to wrap around and cover your cover your face, the bottom of your face. And he goes, this helps our hunters be able to track their prey more easily once they get the scent of it. Um, and what he has given you is a lesser bloodhound mask.
Ooh.
Um,
They're bloodhound.
yeah, so once it is activated, if you're using survival to track a creature by its scent, your proficiency bonus is equal to your level, even if you're untrained. And the mask grants you an additional +1 to your survival check, and you can the range to actually be able to detect someone nearby is 15 feet from you, and it can go for about 10 minutes. After that, it's a one-time use, so after that it's done. But
Okay.
if you're tracking something by scent, it could be useful in that way.
You said lesser bloodhound.
Lesser bloodhound.
It's not on Path Builders. Here.
You look for bloodhound mask, and then
Oh, and
it'll be
it'll
in
say comma
parentheses
lesser.
lesser. Yeah.
They get me every time.
SU naming convention.
Curse you, Aqua School.
Great.
I have to sing the alphabet in my head. Don't look at me. There. No. There it is. Excellent. Thanks, Anchi.
Great.
Hmm.
I heard that from.
Maybe I misjudged her. You know.
Great. So
Great. City of Nepo baby.
oh yeah, save nepo babies who actually have to get a job.
Yeah,
Oh god.
that's very funny.
You're not
It's
wrong. Though.
true. It's true.
We are definitely. What is the show that Paris Hilton and what's her name, Nicole Richie were?
Chipotle.
Yeah, we're them.
Yep.
Great.
Amazing. Okay, so
I'd like to order a Cosmo. This is McDonald's. Are you at Cosmos?
So, you are given permission to head out. You are brought down to lift into the jungle floor. You see, it's interesting because you were more focused on getting through, with a group of hunters to Celthia's shrine before, but when you look up, you actually notice how well hidden the Razorback tribe village is, because as soon as you go down and the lift goes up, it disappears into the leaves, and you know that the tribe is up there because you were just there, but as far as you can tell, it's just foliage above you.
Garu is gonna grab like a couple of rocks, large enough not to be blown away, and he's gonna like make like a little like crude outline of like a little fox face so that they know this is where the elevator lands. It's fine. I'm not worried.
Just a quick poll. Is that hard to see for either of you two?
Yes, thus the fox. Well, sort of fox. It kind of looks like a
No, I see the fox. Yeah, I see it.
yeah.
You thought at first Garu was just drawing a fox face just.
I just thought it was recreational. I didn't realize there was a function to the form. Love that.
Most of what I do is recreational at this point. Well, not anymore. Huh. Oh dear.
Oh no.
I did leave a note though. Can I just say retcon that? Like I left a note.
Oh, you mentioned you wanted to wait until the shunt arrived to get what the
Cool.
details
Just wanted
were
to
in the
make
note.
sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Great.
Great.
Thanks.
Hey y'all, go ahead and roll me group survival checks.
Alright, we just
y'all.
got down.
Okay.
We
Where
just
is my
got down
survival?
here. They drove me here.
Okay, let's see. This has some green on it, so let's see if this die. Well,
I'm using
your
somebody
heart.
else's dice, and the luck is good on these.
All of a sudden, Helena leaves with these dice because it's so much better.
Oh no, Miles, if you're watching, I have your set of dice.
ooh.
I got a 11.
Love that.
Okay. Zara, what was yours? 5. Great.
Oh,
I've never had to
19.
try to survive before. I just kind of did it.
That's fair.
Oops.
And it makes sense that I'm the foxy kid. I'm from the forest.
I'm a cafe
I'm
owner. What do you want from
part
me?
Hey, owner, what do you want from me?
Great.
We won the war
So,
against outside. Why are we going back?
urge to give Helena inspiration to bring a balance back to the force.
That's funny.
Graham, don't do it. Don't do it.
So
You want me to succeed.
so you travel through Solio. Much to your chagrin, you're pretty sure this map was not to scale, because many landmarks that are mentioned based on your idea of what mileage and all that stuff, like, you know, the tree with the skull face on it is much closer to the camp than you thought, and then
And it doesn't look as cool.
it doesn't, oh god, it doesn't look nearly as cool. He had like
Mhm.
he had a, drawn on like like skull with sharp teeth and a sharp jaw and like angry eyes. And then the
Ooh.
actual skull that's carved into the tree, I don't know if any of you know what a pirate flag Jolly Roger
Jolly
actually
Roger?
looks like.
The actual
But
Jolly Roger.
but the Jolly Roger on an actual pirate flag looks
It's very janky.
nothing like. It looks just so, it looks like just a white face that they put like a little like thing here. There's no teeth on it, anything like that.
Yeah, it's just
and
very
that's
round.
what this looks like. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
so
know.
this
It's
is
so
a
disappointing.
flat-
It's so disappointing.
They could have
Um,
tried better on that one.
Yeah, and then another landmark that is a massive boulders that are allegedly in the shape of a circle. It's more of an oval, but uh, they are actually much further away than it suggests in the map. So it causes a lot of frustration for you all. But it does take most of the day to get through. Through a very tense walk through, because the thing about this jungle that is even more that's even more difficult for you all to peruse based on where you usually encounter other mortal races is that there doesn't seem to be any well established trail through this. Garu, you're kind of able to get a possible idea based on stuff like you notice that there are branches that have been cleaved by knives that were probably used in order to make a path, like, but that's probably as much of a hint as you usually get, because otherwise you're kind of jumping over roots, you're making a lot of noise, and one of the things that you're starting to worry about is that the more noise you make, is any of those many creatures that Deshunt mentioned gonna pop out at you. It doesn't seem to happen, and thankfully, as you see kind of a sight that you didn't think was gonna be a really relieving sight to see, but as it gets into the late afternoon, you do see wooden stakes that form a wall, a large wooden wall in front of you, and to a little bit slightly to your right is a large archway that leads into a place of some sort. You can't really see inside from here.
Hmm. I will point it out. Stakes, quite rare, quite rare. Perhaps we go with caution, but go boldly as we have been.
Well, if you just give me a moment, crack my knuckles. Okay, what is going on in this area? And I blink, and my eyes are glowing as I cast Detect Magic. As we go.
Fascinating. Can you just read for me what Detect Magic does in this particular case?
You send out a pulse that registers the presence of magic. You receive no information beyond the presence or absence of magic. You can choose to ignore magic you're fully aware of, such as magic items and ongoing spells of you or your allies. You detect illusion magic only if that magic's effect has a lower level than the level of your detect magic spell. However, items that have an aura aren't deceptive in appearance, such as an invisibility potion, typically are detected normally.
Great.
So just if magic, yes, no, basically.
Great. You do not detect any magic for this current round.
I keep
Yeah,
the gold
you
mask
don't
for the aesthetic.
yeah, you don't get anything. Nothing pings for you, anything like that.
All right, so the stakes aren't as rare then. Not quite magical, not sizzling with arcane. Anyway, we should just go.
Great. When you enter, you see a large arena stadium. You see the wooden wall surrounds for a very very far into the jungle. Um, it is very much cleared of any vegetation, anything like that. Besides, maybe you see like some flowers growing in certain areas. But overall, it's very much a dirt floor. And next to, as you enter, you see a little stairs to your left that go out into huge wooden bleachers that go down, and you see those entrances scattered throughout the circle, and then in the center is a clear marked circle, and the marked circle is very very wide. There doesn't seem to be a discernible, like, there's no ropes around for the fighting arena, or what you imagine is the fighting arena. You also see racks in front of the bleachers that you imagine would store weapons. There aren't any weapons on those racks right now. But the other thing that you see is above each entrance to the archway is a symbol of some sort.
What does the nearest symbol look like?
The one above you looks like a scaled spine.
Oh,
Is that giving y'all Razorback vibes?
yes, definitely.
Right.
What do the others look like?
So closest to you on your left is a dripping tooth that's dripping red.
Bloodfang.
And then further along, I mean, yeah, you're getting picking up what I'm putting down. So eventually, you see on the opposite end, also relatively close to each other, a five-fingered hand with a sun behind it, and then you also see what looks like an armored foot nearby.
Nice, nice.
Wait,
Shall we?
so are we going with the Steelfoots or the Bright Hands? Or are we having a picnic first?
I figure we enter through the Razorback just in case there's any kind of, oh, hey, you pass through this little magical veil, you're registered, and then, we can take in the scenery. We've been walking for a while. It's pretty humid. A picnic in the center, or maybe on the bleachers, but, anywhere there's some room, and then head on from there.
I love it.
What time is it now? Because you said it took longer than the half day that we thought.
Yeah, it's like late afternoon. You see that the sun's starting to set, so the jungle is starting to get a little darker.
Do we think
it is in here you could actually see the sun setting because the vegetation is cleared, so there's no foliage that's above you, so you're able to see the sky and Kelenoth also directly above you, but you also can more clearly see the sun setting. You also know that once you entered here, it felt a little brighter than when you were in the jungle, and the sun was starting to get behind more of the foliage.
Mm.
Okay. What if we stayed here for the night? I mean, I would feel better in here than out there.
Certainly a much
Yes,
more fortified position.
Camping in a concession stand is probably safer than out in the elements.
Or they
Yeah.
might have beds for the injured.
Mhm.
Or the dead.
I don't think you want to sleep in a dead bed, but an injured bed is certainly better as long as they've cleaned it.
Mhm.
I also feel a lot better about hiding this behind a structure, and I'll just gesture to the glowing halo. Don't really want to be a beacon in the woods. Jungle? This is the jungle.
Jungle, forest.
Jungle.
It's jungly. Argonath jungle.
Rainforest?
Argoth jungle.
Well, then this feels fun. This is fun. This is
Yeah.
fun.
It is
Good time.
important to enjoy the time you have when you can relax.
The little time we have left.
It is important to enjoy the time that you can relax when it shows up.
You know what? Do you know what I found? And I don't know if either of you found this, but I find that if I'm spiraling about, potentially about death, and then I eat something, that goes away a little bit.
Oh,
It
really?
does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
I must try
You should
this.
eat.
That sounds great.
This is your
Oh.
sandwich. That is
Thank you.
horseradish substituting for the mustard. Here is your ham sandwich. And one of them has no crust. The other has a crust. And I have some other third sandwich that I made on my own time.
What is your sandwich?
What did they have, Jim? What was available? Actually, what was that cooking meat? What was that cooking meat? Because I wanna try something with that.
The cooking meat. So you knew ham is pig. It's a little bit of a tougher meat. It's actually warthog
Ooh.
meat
Oh, I know what I'm doing with
that
that.
was used.
Yeah, well, I took some warthog and I did a little shredded version of it because it was pretty tough. So just a little layer of that. Took some arugula and just put in a little bit of other fixings in there. Not too bad. Making do with what we got.
So you all eat like this all the time. Like, you know what you're talking about.
Well, you run a cafe, right?
I do, yeah.
Right.
So whenever I have mortals coming over, I experience certain memories with them, and a lot of them, surprisingly enough, do deal with favorite childhood foods and such. So just by proxy, I've learned a bunch of different recipes and just kind of throw some things together.
In this century, what is the favorite childhood food, or the average favorite childhood food? Is that a weird question?
No, no, not at all. I found that well, they've really been into diversifying things that they can do ever since they learned how to cut bread and just consistently like cut it.
Yeah, sliced
So
bread is
apparent,
the thing.
it's best thing since well, I don't know what. Um, but sliced bread has been the foundation for sandwiches. Recently, they've been making
Julio holds up
some
his sandwich and he's
paninis.
like,
Yeah, you know this is top of the line. If I had the capabilities, I would have toasted it. But apparently, paninis in the capital have really been a thing. You take a sandwich and then you toast it,
Hmm,
crispy.
I
like
love
on a
that.
fire.
Yeah, but not like the kind of fire you would attack somebody with. You know, I mean you could, but you just have to like get the distance right so that you're not burning it and you're just getting it crispy.
Right.
But that makes so much sense because where fire is, home is for these
Mm-hmm.
mortals. Like
Well, that's the heart.
that's a thing. Yeah. So of course it's something that's cooked. It's not, I don't know, wild green onions or something.
Oh, those were dark times. Oh man.
Zareb, you also remember that was also when you've met probably the strangest of the pantheon that you've ever met, who came from the capital, and that's Giovanna, who is the demigod of paninis, and very oddly
Funny.
specific.
Giovanna. Oh wait, how's she doing? Oh no.
Well,
Oh well,
Garrett will
she's
Somebody
raise
please
his
fine.
use
hand when
demigod if it's
so
a beauty.
Giovanna.
Yeah, well, it's important to help your younger coworkers when you can. But she's been making a killing. She's been making a killing in the business.
Oh, I bet. I bet.
How's it been inspiring the artists of the day?
Well, I have not inspired many recently, obviously, but some of the children, some of the young lizard folk, they might have it. They might have something. I've been trying to come up with words that sparkle in the way that my words used to, and it's coming off quite dull. But perhaps this is a relearning as opposed to a retooling of an old toolkit. Yeah. Even
Everything
that was
feels.
a little.
Is it kind of like everything has felt duller since being down here? Like,
My brain has felt duller, but everything since we fell is sharp and colorful and less. Sorry if you hear a chihuahua grunting on my left. He is annoying. But myself, I feel duller and in a sharper world. Like everything since we fell, everything is so crisp and clear, and I can't just go about my day because my day might be my last. You know what I mean? And I'm not sure if I'm going to be needed, and I'm worried for my family, for all of the muses, for lack of better word, which is why I've been so well. I've been trying to write historical songs for these lizard folk friends, just in case my sister didn't make it. Not that she talks to me or talked to me. Actually, had not seen Snowball's Prophesia. Is that her name?
I can pronounce it Prophesia. I think I pronounce it Prophesia.
Prophesia.
But
Prophesia, that's it.
Prophesia.
Yeah,
Okay.
Prophesia. I had not seen Prophesia in a couple decades until we were there placing our final question mark embers into the fire. So I'm not sure whether I was needed or will be.
it just seems like all of our experiences are different. Like ever since, well, I guess before we fell, was I guess that was the fall. Before that, I could just recall things perfectly. Everything I ever experienced, I remember in detail. And now everything just feels like there are no sharp edges. It's all vague, and I don't remember bits of yesterday, which is a new thing. Um, Truth be told, and keep this to yourselves, you didn't hear it from me, but I kind of envied mortals their ability to forget. And now that I can, kind of scary.
Hmm.
Like what happens
did
to
I miss?
memory when memory itself forgets?
Right.
Oh
Because you
no.
are the protector of memory in some ways. You're the active part of memory.
Forgot
Which I think is
milestones. What about you, Solio? How's it been?
Oh, so it's just been like eating his sandwich and listening. And he's like, well, it's weird because I have died and I don't remember. I remember things about my first life, but it's kind of patchy. And I guess at this point, I'm curious is like, are the gods doing stuff? Like, did they also fall, or is like, if I die, will I just like run into my dad, and then he won't let me die, and then I come back, or is my dad dead? And if my dad is dead, then how does he do death? And that's kind of why I haven't tried to think about it a lot, because it's like, it's just like it's just, another thing is, I think that like, I miss like the rhythm of what I was doing and
Yeah.
moving a lot, because then I didn't have to think about it. But I wasn't even trying not to. I just, was helping the mortals and they liked what I did and I was good at stuff. I miss being good at stuff. Like, Garu, I'm so happy for you. You got
There's
that like
tea.
mask thing, but I was also sad that I didn't get a mask thing.
You are welcome to have it, my friend.
You earned it with your cool snake stuff, and like that's yours for
It was
you.
very cool.
It was really
he'll
cool.
pull out the Pebble, which is literally a pet rock that has a smiley face very crudely drawn on it. He goes, "This was the boa constrictor go. I went in with cards stacked in my favor."
But that's still cool stuff. Because the thing is, like, I might do good in one fight, but like I don't know if I'm gonna do good in the next fight.
Well, no one knows that. Well, we don't know this now.
Right. Yeah. And I guess, I don't mean to be a downer, but wow.
No, you're so good. Continue your thought if you want to. I'm very curious to hear it.
I think it's just like I'm worried about my family. It also like it's kind of like a cool relief. Not like
did seem
they
to be
can't
some
contact me.
tension.
I mean, it's all family stuff, right? Like every family has stuff. I ferry mortals all the time who are like going to family that they love and getting away from family that let
But that's something I guess we have in common with the mortals then.
Right?
Family dynamics are weird.
Yeah.
And you know what? I respected mortals anyway. I was always drinking respect mortals juice. I know that wasn't every like demigods and gods like vibe. I don't want to toot my own horn. But like now that I'm down here,
I respected mortals before it was cool.
Yes.
I mean, but so did I think you two did too. I think we all were riding the wave. And now that I've been down here, even more respect. Like,
They're
you know,
surviving like this. They're live, laugh, loving like this.
they're fully living and laughing and loving.
And
Every
singing my
day.
songs occasionally.
Which is pretty cool.
We'll get to it. But
You know, I feel like if they can live, laugh, and love without knowing what the future holds, then maybe we can try it too.
but smart.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we do better,
wish for
but
death.
no.
Like, I'm sure your father's great, Solio, but I do not wish to meet him. Like, officially. I've seen him, like, at receptions I've seen, you know. But
Yeah, he's
Well,
fine.
also, have we seen anything die since we've been down here? Because I mean, if there's if there's a god of the forests, or if Arboreus is still around, trees are still a thing, So I just feel
Yes.
like if the forces that we govern are still around, what happens to them if we've lost the reins? Or is it just like a team of horses
Man.
running off towards the nearest horse convention?
Horse convention, absolutely. I think that, I just wish, I want to be in the water anyway, but like, man, I just feel like I could get a better sense of that if I could like touch water.
You need to touch water.
Mm-hmm.
Touch water.
I bet we could find you a creek or something on the way. I could use this and he'll hold up the bloodhound mask. I could use this to source some water for you. Like, as we're leaving tomorrow, before it gets too hot out. Do you think that would make you feel better?
Thank you so much. I think it would, but here's the other thing. Just in case, I do want that, but also I'm, afraid that something's going to kill us.
Valid.
In the water.
Or just in general.
Like a vicious
if we save the mask for something that's like...
Right. If we're really, really searching for a specific prey or item.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
What if we keep an eye out, for water or any creatures that need what? Well, I guess we need water now. But like, see where animals go
There's
for water.
Man.
Yeah, must be. I'd assume so.
No, you're so right. And we can also keep a lookout for things that are dying.
Yeah.
Right, because the only death we've seen was the Knoll leader. But Shen, I think Shen intervened somehow because the Knoll leader seemed to be revived.
I can tell you that based on what you saw, even though it was in the throes of battle, definitely was at death's door, but you could tell that and you've seen this happen before amongst healers, but Shen definitely used some magic to make sure that whatever wounds stabilized so that the Knoll didn't bleed out.
Near miss. Okay.
This is good. This almost kind of feels like a real plan. Like this feels like we got stuff, objectives.
So we have our mission. I don't know why I got so close. I'm like, sorry. Sorry, sorry, we have our mission. It's gone off the rails already. So we have our plan. We're gonna continue our journey, and as we go, we just keep an eye out for any bodies of water, any streams, because honestly, your domain seems the easiest to look out for. So I guess any clues related to the demigods we're looking for, anything that has given us some strange energy related to our portfolios, and I guess we just go at things with an open mind.
But do we exit out of the Bright Hands or the Steelfoot's doorway?
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm guessing that it's like, the doorway is in this direction, so we just go that direction.
And just we do our level best to go in a straight line.
Mhm.
avoiding rocks and roots.
Yes.
Well, I'm gonna level with you. The design on the bright hand just kind of seems like if there's a light source behind it, then the hand would be more of a shadow hand, and I don't trust myself to not mention that if we
Ominous.
see them.
Hmm. Yeah, I find them
I just worry.
if we have to fight one of them to get respect, that I have concerns. I'm not saying we would lose, but you
Mhm.
know, I don't know. And I'm not saying we won't have to fight the other ones, but I'm concerned about the bright hands, and I'm curious about the steel people. What?
I'm very curious
Yeah.
about their constructs. I'm a bit of a tinkerer myself. Love me some arts and crafts, and I'm very curious. What do these tribes folk make? Very curious.
Then let's follow a curiosity. Steelfoots in the morning.
Steel foots in the morning.
Great. Awesome.
Steel fits in the morning.
um, you all,
Have Serafina watch out for us while we're sleeping.
great. So you all go to sleep. I am gonna ask everyone to roll me a d4.
Ooh, I can get out a D4. Little caltrops.
Wake up, little one.
The pointiest dice.
Mm-hmm.
Let's
The
go.
most armored dice.
Ooh, let's use my Jabba D4. Roll. Ooh.
Picnic thoughts. A play. We did just put on a little mini play for you. Or picnic.
Yeah.
All right. Zareb, what did you roll?
One.
Great. Solio.
Hey.
Garrett.
Oh my god, I also got a one!
Hey. Did we all roll one?
That's really funny.
Ooh, that's an
Did we win?
omen.
Did we win Pathfinder 2E, Sam?
Do we just
Yep.
find a pachinko
Yep,
parlor?
that's the end of the campaign, everyone. They automatically
God.
won. 3
It's an angel
ones.
number.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, the one.
We are trying to find a path.
Yeah.
It's true.
So each of you wake up by yourself, and you've had dream-like trances before, but all of you can kind of tell that this might be a dream. You're in the middle, it's the middle of the day, and you are seeing a bloody combat in the center of this arena. You see multiple dead bodies strewn throughout. You see many different tribes cheering each other on as they go, and just having a raucous time. And you also see just a little bit above the bleachers, you see a row of kind of look like representatives of each of the tribes. So you see a lizard folk, you see a gnoll there, you see what looks like to be some sort of armored figure, you see an orc, you see all of these, and in the center, you know this person is the fiery physical form of Argoth, watching the battle happen. You see someone who looks to be Yisk actually fighting in this battle, and you see Yisk finally being the one person against this larger than her gnoll warrior with a barbed blade, and she is fighting back back a flurry of blows that look like they could take her out at any minute. But through acrobatic skill and prowess, she is able to maneuver about this large gnoll warrior and eventually pierce the armor behind it as he goes down in pain and falls to the ground with her sword still in there. And you hear some sort of announcement in a language you don't know, and everyone from the lizard folk tribe cheers, and some, like, the gnolls aren't happy, but other people kind of go up into the cheer as well. And you see the lizard folk up at the top get up and cheer, and you see her getting congratulations from the other people, even from the other gnoll among there as well. And you see her go to Argoth, and you see Argoth stoically stand up and walk away and leave the arena.
That is so like him.
And then you wake up in the morning, and it's at that moment that you realize how you could tell the boundary of where the boundary of the arena was, because you notice that the arena is a much darker and redder color than the rest of the surrounding ground. And at that point, we are going to take our break. When we come back, the crew is going to go towards the Sealfoot tribe and find out if they know anything about where Celthia or any of the other demigods might be. We will be back at 15 minutes after the hour, so don't go away. We will return then. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. See you in a little bit. Shouldn't be once a goth, always a goth. I need to think about my names before people can start just yelling goths all over. Find out if they know anything.
Yeah, do they know anything?
All right, we will be right back in just 10 minutes. See you soon. And we're back. Hello, hello, everyone. So let's get our jungle sounds back.
Oh,
Yeah.
no. Oh.
So you
Jungle
Oh, there we go.
you wake up to the sounds of the forest around you. You do still have your plans, as far as I'm aware, in terms of going to the Steelfoot tribe. So let's. I expected to hear "Welcome to the Jungle." I do not want a copyright strike, so
Fair.
no. Or Clickety Clackety doesn't want a copyright strike. So I wouldn't get one. It's fine. So in that case, maybe no, we won't.
I feel like on the
do
bucket
that.
list.
So this is how I get fired. So
No.
so you get to the Steelfoot entrance, and it's funny. You remember how you were in the Razorback tribe, and you felt like you really needed to figure out where the path was? That is not a problem here. You look at the steel and you see footprints, very heavy footprints that go back and forth from there, and you see like this area where like the vegetation was clearly just moved out of the way and just has been bent out of the way multiple times.
It's a shrub now.
Yeah.
Just
So yeah, so it's like, yeah, that's doesn't feel like it's gonna be too much of an issue for you to get find where you're going.
Like we can just ease on down.
Yeah.
Ease on down the road.
he's on down the road.
Hey.
and then you'll sing that along the way as you go
All
through
70 billion verses.
exactly.
Oh my gosh. There are a lot.
So you eventually
forget about it.
you are making your way through, and again the path is actually very clear. There does seem to be like a stomped out trail. You don't seem to have as much of an issue. However, it's not going to be like an easy challenge, so everyone roll me a survival check.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
Even after our emotional damage of a dream. Oh, okay. Now we start rolling poorly. That makes sense. We had emotional damage in a dream.
Damn it.
Yeah, there
And
you go.
it's a hike first thing in the morning. First
Yeah.
waking up. 12.
Well, did you do
Can
your
I?
stretches before you started hiking?
Oh,
Absolutely not.
okay. Oh, I'm a little baby mortal. I have to stretch before I hike so I don't pull a muscle.
Is it possible? I mean, I don't know how everybody else rolled. I don't know. I just didn't roll well.
Didn't you like
I didn't either.
Naturally on the die?
It's not a natural one.
Okay.
Or
Whoa,
not
what
natural.
was it,
I
though?
don't know why I said natural like that. It's a 3 plus my 7.
It's
I
10.
also have 10.
And Garu
Got
has
a
10 as well.
12.
And 12 from Sarah. Great. So
Probably 10, I guess.
so good thing I made, because of the path, I made a DC of 10, because otherwise this would have been bad. So yeah, you are able to, it's a little slow going, but you are able to get through the path until eventually you are actually stopped in your tracks, because in the middle of the path is, and you will see this on the stream screen in just a second, is, yes, this is a person. A large mechanical figure that has a giant sword. Just standing in the center of the road.
Ah. Greetings.
Hello?
Garrett does a little shimmy. Thought it
Can
would
I
speak
do
through
a-
movement.
A check to see if it's like empty? Like, is anyone in there?
Now there's a 10 man.
Yeah, I guess you could do a perception check to see.
I'm never gonna recover from that though. Okay. Okay. Well, it's a 17.
Hey.
So you do notice it's subtle, but you do notice that as Garu kind of shimmies up, it's very subtle, but you see the head slightly move down as if it's looking where Garu is currently moving, but the rest of it is not moving at all.
Then is there anything that I gathered from a 17 that would tell me if it is like, I don't know how advanced these folks are. Like, is this a robot deal? Automaton? Or is it like there's someone's, Gundaming?
Hard to say. You can't really tell at the distance. They're a little far away, but you can't really tell at the distance right now what's the situation, because
Okay.
you haven't really encountered either in your travels. You've maybe encountered automaton servants of like magicians and such, but they've usually been not necessarily non-humanoid shape, but they've usually, they haven't tried to make them look like menacing metal warriors at all.
Sure.
They're usually, they make a large one that can, reach tall heights, and then make a, smaller one that can just quickly, sort books or something like that. But
And like maybe there's a sense of whimsy.
yeah, exactly. Some of them are very creative with their designs. Some of them are a little some of them actually, like, you mistake them as animals. You mistake them as pets as well, because they actually look so lifelike.
Side quest.
Side quest. Get a cute
Robot
automaton.
pet.
Yeah.
Must learn to make
I
robots.
found one.
I have
Hey.
to.
Oh my god, it's an Ava.
Look at him.
You would never know he's a robot.
He is so funny.
Is that
His
why-
heart
You're
is
using for
big.
comedy.
Wait, is that why he snorts? It's actually the gears getting locked up every now and again.
That's the exhaust.
It's the-
I can't get over it. I'm usually not a big like Chihuahua fan, but there's something about him that is just like
He's
he
the
looks
only
like a
Chihuahua.
squishmallow.
He's the only
Magical.
chihuahua.
yeah.
All the other chihuahuas are too angry. He's
so chill.
just chill, and he honks a lot.
God.
love that.
Anyway, sorry, Sam.
All good.
He has neck rolls.
I also forgot to do this earlier. So I want to make sure. I wanted to make sure because of the really fun role playing from before break. I want to reward everyone a hero point.
Ooh.
For their amazing role play. Also, I wanted to welcome Alit Hannah to the Discord, who joined the Discord during the break. So welcome officially to like our fun community. Thank you for joining. And hello, Blue Casio, saying everybody do the Garu. Well, welcome to the stream. So yeah, so Gary, you start doing your little shimmy, up, and then the automaton thing just looks to you and goes, designation.
Garu of Loqua. Technically.
Visitor.
Visitor. Would love to see the welcome center.
Steelfoot's not accepting visitors.
Try diplomat, maybe.
Diplomat from foreign nation of Loqua. Could be bad for my people.
Diplomats only accepted year. Oh no, diplomats only accepted month before yearly melee.
Shit.
Um.
Can be granted. No, it does not.
Designation Garu? Question mark.
Scientist, builder, construction. I love doing things with my hands and making items that are physical.
Designation Garu cannot be correct. Garu is demigod of the word, and you are a mortal.
What if I told you I was named after a god? Demigod.
That would make your parents really hoping that you would take on a certain path, and that seems very cruel to do to a child.
That is very correct. I got beat up a lot in school as a kid, but I usually go by Gary. Like my license says Garu, but I've chosen Gary so as not to cause confusion. But for a professional
Legal purposes.
Yeah, for legal purposes, I decided to give you my true name. So Gary is fine if you want to just scratch the Garu off the list. Gary is totally fine.
Roll me a
so much
deception.
about you today.
Roll me a deception, please.
The emotional intelligence on this century. The microaggression.
Okay. Deception 21.
An outbreak. Bullshit.
Accepted. Gary, traumatized child. You may enter the Steelfoot camp.
Excellent. Thank you, good chap.
Is it Gary and guests?
Yes, these are my friends. Not all of them traumatized children. Don't worry about that. I mean, we all are, aren't we? In some ways, just from exiting the womb or exiting another plane of existence or a Fey portal, like some of us. But maybe not as traumatized. Maybe for the bit, not as traumatized.
Very well. I will take
Yes,
the
we'll
not
do
as
just
traumatized
fine.
children with me to our camp.
Oh, really? Would you? That is just so.
How very kind and generous of you. Thank
Certain
you.
rules. I will give you direction on how to get to our camp, and you will walk in front of me. If you try to leave the path for any reason, you will be executed in front of me with no mercy.
Okay.
Thanks
It's
for telling
it's
us
really good to know where we stand.
it
Truly.
is, or where we walk and not walk as well.
Do you have any affiliation with any of the other tribes? Are you representing them in any way?
Quick
Oh,
sidebar to the party.
maybe. Hold
Did
on.
they did the chief specify anything? Because we were given permission to leave. We weren't really given permission to speak on their behalf.
I think the idea was that since this is a bit of an espionage situation,
Sure.
she didn't want her people with us.
Right. Right. Okay.
I think that's the vibe I got.
Also, I know that this is an automaton, and I'm really trying to let it go. But children,
I
It's-
apparently well,
and you and mortal, it's fine. It's fine. I'm letting it go. I'm letting it go. But I am gonna think about it later.
in some senses, we were born 2 weeks ago, reborn ish.
That's wow. Solio turns to the sentry and says, I mean, we know of the other tribes, but we're not like affiliated.
Travelers.
Roll me a deception.
I was gonna say it's a deception.
Deceive the AI.
Where is it? Where is the-
Affiliation
where
is
am I?
pretty
Show them a bunch of
pretty
pictures with
broad of a
bicycles.
term. Bicycles. Bicycles.
Bicycles.
Anyone heard of bicycles? Is he doing well?
I
Yeah.
have a question real quick.
Uh-huh.
Do hero points stack? Like I keep them, right?
Yeah, so I think y'all have 2 hero points now if you hadn't used them before.
I think I have 3.
You might have one
you
from
have-
past
Oh, I
session.
Yeah,
Um,
they don't like go away after each session or anything like that.
yeehaw. Okay, I'm gonna use.
But you can have a
I'm going to
maximum of
use
3 at a
one.
time.
Okay, then yeah, I will use one. It was the right choice.
Good.
An unnatural 20.
Ooh, good.
A 20 most unnatural.
Most unnatural. Against the order.
Very well. And goes over and goes in between you and now the arena and says, "Keep walking forward. Remember, do not leave the path or you will be executed on sight."
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
So you make a
Honestly,
very
it's kind of like being attended by someone, so it's kind of nice.
so you make a very long path through the it's a long and also winding path throughout the jungle, and it gets more and more paved as you walk through, and eventually you encounter multiple like structures, and you see more of the foliage clear away to much more of a steel encampment, with like steel walls bolted up, a big steel archway that's guarded by the 2 more sentries, much like the one that's currently behind you, and many more kind of milling about. You see little smokestacks coming up behind. You see a minecart start to pass by, and you see very different look from the structure of the Razorback tribe. This is super industrial.
Mm.
And,
And on the ground as well. Like,
well, the ground is feels like it's more clay. But
okay.
there are minecart tracks so that minecarts can easily get in through this huge tunnel that's further along. You see what looks like some sort of like smaller version of an automaton that's like uh, that seems to be doing something to one of the other automatons that seem to be opened up. And you just see sparks flying as it seems to be putting another instrument inside and welding something together. But it's very busy, and you notice it's mostly. You still hear the sounds of the jungle behind you, but you also hear clanging and drilling as you go through. And then every now and then you hear a "How was your day? My day was fine. See you later." And then that's the end of that conversation. And that's what you see in this. And the sentry comes up to the two guards and says, "These three are children who are not necessarily traumatized, and they would wish to speak with the Sealfoot tribe. Okay, you just wait here, and I will go get the foreman." And the person
Older
walks
than your
off.
ancestors. How am I a child? How am I a child? It's fine. It's
and
it suits me today. I feel the child. I am the child.
and eventually you actually watch this figure go away for a little bit. It is about 20 minutes of incredibly awkward silence, as these things do not make any type of at all effort to make conversation with any of you. And then eventually comes down and goes, "The foreman is booked today. Can you come back tomorrow?"
Is there an
Hmm.
option to speak to the foreman in office hours of some kind?
"The foreman is booked for office hours today."
Do you have lodgings here that we may use in the meantime? We would rather not go back out there.
"We have charging stations."
What if I told you we were mortal, kind of humanoid-esque?
You
Where would
were
the
Wouldn't that be
chargers
hurtful?
go?
you
Where would the
wish to
chargers go,
find
sir?
beds?
Yes, beds, beds. We love beds.
We can make you beds if you would like to
Oh,
stay here
really?
till tomorrow.
That is very kind of you.
We would
It-
really appreciate it.
yes, and do you know what time tomorrow your foreman would be willing to speak with us?
We will ask tomorrow when the foreman is available.
I see. Your foreman really enjoys living in the present. Totally.
Is there an appointment that we could make?
I will check with the scheduler.
Thank
Great.
you.
Thank you so much. Are we confined to the beds that you will be making, or are we allowed to roam the accepted areas for visitors?
You see it turn its head away, and you see the eyes start to like flicker a little bit. and turns to the one that you were talking to and goes, "Are they prisoners of war?" No, that was not the distinction that was made. We do not have protocol for guests. Usually guests here who are mortals are prisoners of war. I guess they can roam the place as long as they do not kill anyone. That's true. If they kill anyone, we would have to capture them and make them prisoners of war. We do have protocol for prisoners of war, but they are not prisoners of war, not unless they attack us and then we need to capture them.
Well, we are happy to pioneer the new protocol and best practices for non-prisoner of war visitors, if that's all right.
Very well. We do have to make your beds that are not in the dungeon.
That is very appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
They will be next to the dungeon because that's the space we have, but they will not be inside.
That's
That
fair.
makes sense.
I will take that as a boon. Thank you.
Great. So at that point, the other one comes with another automaton comes down, and with a quill and paper, and goes, "What time would you like to see the foreman?"
Oh,
When are you two
What,
available?
Probably the earliest we could, right?
Yeah. Early bird gets the twig.
That sounds
I
right.
will schedule you for the middle of the morning shift.
Okay. Thank
okay,
you.
that sounds lovely. Are there provisions? I noticed that you are a beautiful metallic creature, friend, person. Are there provisions for eating in this lovely establishment of steel and chrome?
We have gruel that we serve to the prisoners.
You know, gruel is cool with me because I have no other choice.
It is our freshest, only 2 months old.
Ah, got it. Would it be all right if we foraged to add
Another franchising
anything
opportunity.
to the gruel?
I suppose you can forage with escort.
Wonderful. Yes. Some fresh mushrooms or I don't know, those green onions I was talking about. Green onions.
Or
2 months.
Great. So, do y'all forage?
I would
that
love
okay?
to forage, and I would love to forage in the area because I'm not about to ingest gruel. I'm not putting gruel in my body, mortal or otherwise.
That's the opposite of a cleanse. That's a
I would,
clog right
I
there.
would sooner
It's a
franchise and feed these metal boys than eat gruel. And who knows? Maybe we'll see some mortals on our way.
Great. I'm gonna have Azerib roll me a survival, but I'm also gonna have you add +2 to it because you did get some training under the Lizard Folk Hunters, and this is a different section, but it is still the same forest.
Gonna use my first hero point. Roll that. Gonna use my second.
Oh no!
Well,
I mean, I
plus
could
two.
roll it.
That would be great because that's a 9. The plus
Is that okay,
2.
Sam?
Yeah, go ahead.
Love that. Just keep an eye out for anything that looks tasty.
What would be cool about that is that I would just see stuff and I would point at it. And then you could say,
that actually would be. That's great. That's great. You're a natural. You're a natural at this.
a natural 20.
Wow, you're a quick study. That's
Wait, what was your total?
My total was 27.
Yeah,
Amazing.
that's
Iconic.
a critical
Love to see
success.
I find truffles.
Yeah.
Real truffles.
No.
No.
What you find is just outside, you find a very well kept garden. Like
So there-
plot of land garden with rows upon rows of vegetables and berry bushes and just rows upon rows of growing and ripe vegetables.
That's exciting. It does give me a little bit Spirited Away
It's a
vibes.
little suspicious.
Is it Mr.
Or-
McGregor's garden?
That's
It's a-
suspicious.
Dexter,
weird.
because you've had to use your hero points, Graham just rewarded you back 1 hero point.
Thank you. I owe you my firstborn.
Be careful,
I'm good,
Graham.
that's not
Graham
hard
takes
work.
those promises seriously.
Oh, no.
Graham's full of riddles.
Ooh.
Is there, with my 27, is I able to tell if, like, are we gonna face bad stuff if we take these vegetables,
So,
fruits?
I mean, this is definitely being kept by someone.
A person.
There didn't seem to be any indication from the automatons that they were going to do anything about it. Like, they didn't try to get in your way as you saw the garden, and they didn't try to stop you from doing that. And to be fair to the automatons, they've been pretty clear about what the rules are and what the rules aren't.
Just don't kill anybody. Pretty clear.
Don't tell anybody.
Does it look
Can
like
I do a
anyone has-
quick, like, perception check, or does someone want to do a quick perception check just to be like,
I can like look around in the area,
Yeah.
maybe, since I
Yeah,
know
go
very
ahead,
little
roll me a
about
perception.
Pedge. Just to like, is there somebody living out here? Like, what's the dealio? What's up with that? I'm gonna use my hero point for this because I don't want to face consequences. Consequences. Who is
Relatable
she?
content.
Okay, that's better. That's a 21 perception.
Ooh.
Why am I pronouncing numbers weirdly today?
Oh, I thought you were like, did I pronounce 21 correctly? And I'm like, I think
Oh, I
you
said
did.
21.
One.
Oh,
Oh, that sounded fine to me. I didn't know.
yeah,
I thought
that
you were
sounded
vibing.
good. Yeah.
Amazing.
It's a little spice.
Okay, so what you
Yeah.
get from it is hey. What you get from that is that there is definitely I mean, this is definitely you maybe do like a little test walk up to the garden. And the automatons don't seem to make any movement to try to stop you from getting to the garden.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, friends, I would say just don't take more than what we need. You know,
Sure.
it's yeah. But I mean, it does look beautiful, and I love a crunchy cabbage.
Does it look like any of these have been harvested in your perusing through?
Did they, Sam?
Do you see any recently
know.
cut or cut a while ago?
Some
Any
peppers.
sign of life?
Some peppers looks like they've been recently. Like you see one pepper plant that looks like any ripe ones have been taken off, but there are rotted ones in the ground. Like those were bad.
Okay.
Sure.
Well,
Okay.
I say we just take what we need, and if we need to work on a farm for a little bit to pay for our lunch, dinner, whatever meal we're having, then I feel like that's a small price to pay for not eating the gruel.
I agree. Okay. What should we take?
Well, at this point, we've already eaten our brunch rations, so that's just empty. So,
We had brunch rations. We had mimosas
never-
on the way.
I'm sorry.
That's
I'm
why I
sorry.
was
That
shimmying.
is I'm sorry, that is the most Nepo baby phrase that I've ever heard in my entire life.
I am in
My brunch
character.
rations.
Oh, we glamped. You
Yeah,
best
we brought
believe.
eggs Benedict.
Little excursions to the mortal realm. Oh yeah, yeah. I'll be
Frittata.
gone in like 2 seconds. It's fine.
I need to make sure I have my water skin and my mimosa skin.
filtered
Both.
water skin. Thank you.
My
Charcoal
avocado
filter.
Charcoal
I got
filter.
charcoal
No.
filtered. My liquid death.
Truly.
Not sponsored, but also sponsor us. Just
But
kidding.
also
I mean,
liquid
maybe.
death if you would like to.
We'll-
Yeah. Do what you. Let's see. Well, I mean, there are the peppers. It's pretty versatile. I'm also thinking that, maybe to alert people to our presence, we could make a nice meal. Maybe the smell of cooking, something that they hadn't scented before. Scented? Why did I say that? Oh wow. The
It's all right.
the
We're
divine
children.
eloquence is just not here anymore.
Traumatized.
Yeah, well,
Children.
you know what? I have the vocabulary of a child because apparently I'm a child and I'm throwing a tantrum. And I start tantrum picking peppers and putting together like.
I think this gives me real insight into why Zareb has a cafe that they can choose to let mortals into. Because if Zareb had to deal with mortals like in day-to-day life, Zareb would smite people. Like it feels like
Zareb
based on what
speaks
I'm
really
hearing,
angry.
Zareb would be smiting
know-
people left and right.
It is a fine line to know when to smite and when to counsel.
Smite when it's right.
It's true. It is very true.
Wrong when it's wrong.
That was actually one of the motivational posters in Xeris's office. Smite
The
when it's
cat
right.
hanging in there.
Just hanging in there. You know.
I also love that Blue Casio, a bag of holding, just coursing with mimosa.
Yeah,
Just-
we should be funding that. We
That
should be
is
funding that.
the magic item I require.
That's your level 20
Oh,
magic
cool.
item. It's just
Listen,
nothing,
there
it's just
is a
very
magic
good.
item. There is a magic item in Pathfinder that is a bag of weasels. And it's like a bag of holding, except when it's not. And sometimes it's a bag of weasels. Google
I
it. It's
appreciate that.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I hope the weasels are happy.
Me too.
Solio is really excited about the idea that we cook these because Solio assumed that we were just gonna kind of like eat them raw in the dungeon. So the fact that you were all thinking like, and then we'll cook them, he's like, oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, you actually start to feel, all of you at this idea start to like feel your mouths water at the prospect of this food.
That is a bit distracting.
Yeah.
I guess.
Please tell me Zareb was the demigod of spilling tea. I think that was your
Yes.
secondary name.
Truly, yeah. It's part of my
Moonlighted
portfolio.
as that.
After hours.
Yeah.
Amazing. So you get like some nice vegetables. Your escort brings you back. Now
Runny olives.
here's a fun thing. There's no cooking fire nearby. However, there is the forge. So you can use the forge to maybe as like a temporary oven or use the
Sure,
heat
sure.
to try to
Hey,
get some
apple.
yeah. Yeah, just
Well,
like Legend of Zelda, just put the vegetables nearby and then they'll be
Mhm.
baked.
make sure that the vegetables don't jump too much while they're in that pot.
Don't make any dubious food.
We are not making dubious food today.
But we're just cooking on an anvil. It's a canville because we can do this.
Oh no. Yeah,
And
well,
people pray to you for that.
They do. Well, they used to pray for better things, but I'm not inspired, so no one else gets to be. Sorry,
so
I'm
Leo, one of the rules here is not to commit murders. So
no murders.
just keep that in mind.
I keep murdering my own language, so Here we
It's
are.
character assassination. I will find a stick and pick up said stick, put the end of said stick in the forge just to light it, to get our own fire going, because I may be mortal, but I have not yet been reduced to doing the twirly hand thing that they
No,
do.
they're doing that. Nope.
Not
So
these
what you're
hands.
making is a bunch of various veggie kebabs. It's sounding like.
I was hoping to do some stir fry. I was hoping
Stir
to just
fry.
like
Stir
take
fry
some,
also work. Yeah.
take some like whatever oils I can extract from any olive adjacent things, or like whatever veggies I can get the oils out of, squeeze it out, do some stir fry, add some seasonings,
Hold on a
keep
second.
whatever I left over from the other village, just
This is
pretend
the
like
best game I've ever played. We're starting a Stardew Valley farm
Yes.
together.
I'm here for it.
Just some nepo babies starting a farm. It's fine.
Yep,
No, of course.
this will be baby's
We
first
never-
cafe.
Do you have?
never
Do you
leave
have?
here.
Do you have
Ben's
cooking?
like, where do they go?
Oh wait.
Sorry,
hold
we
on.
started a new life with the automatons.
Sorry.
They're very straightforward.
All
Hey,
right.
they said not to.
Dex,
They said not to kill.
Roll me a survival check for your stir fry.
Would it be crafting, as I'm trying to craft a meal?
Oh, you are trying to craft a meal. Yeah, no, you're right. You're trying to craft a meal.
All right.
Also, thank you, Graham. I appreciate you. Thank you for my bad puns.
You inherit the farm in Stardew Valley.
Rewarding my bad behavior.
That is a 15.
A 15. You know, it will do. Given the circumstances that you had to take on. So it is, you know, it is good for survival. It's like a little, like one like fifth of the pan was a little too close to the forge fire, so it got a little
that's a bit
crispier
overdone.
than expected. But all in all, it is a salvageable meal based on
I
what
will
you
take the
had
one
available.
that is the ones that are singed and scorched. I'll take those, and also have some good ones for myself. But you know, just you don't give the guests the burnt ones.
Yeah, of course
Um,
not.
Yeah.
Solio is also happy to. Hello, Doge. Solio is also happy to take the burnt ones because he doesn't. His palate's not as refined. So he is like,
Sure.
they all look great. Does
That
anyone
is so
want to
kind of you to say. That is so very kind.
Farm to
I'll
table.
distribute.
Farm
You
to
know what?
anvil to table. Or farm to anvil to wherever we're sitting.
surface?
I've never used a I guess not a distillery, a forge place, a workshop as a kitchen, but with several question marks. So this could be dubious food.
This could be. It could be dubious.
We'll see.
Okay, so you have a very nice meal. As
Oh,
Ah, not
I
dubious.
would just take some garlic, as just to make sure that it's really aromatic, so it's spreading throughout the area, so anyone who happens to be nearby smells that.
great.
Except for vampires.
Except
for
for
vampires,
vampires. You don't want the
which,
vampires.
You know,
on
it's
that.
doing double duty. Double duty.
Great. So you all have your meal next to the dungeons, but not in them.
Be different.
As you see your beds being made, the beds being made are steel slabs being welded to the walls.
Murphy beds. But of steel.
Um,
Expensive Murphy beds.
So they are beds. Not quite sure where the other comforts might be. And you do maybe still do have to yeah, but you got them for a steal. Wow. Okay.
There you go.
You do have a little bit of time if you want to explore before going to bed. It's like the late afternoon again, as you had been forging, making the meal, eating the meal together. Like you have some time.
Was there one either large or very centralized building, it seems?
Yes,
Or
so
maybe-
you've been here long enough. There is a large structure that has windows that seems to be looking over the rest of the whole encampment. So it is very, if you were the leader of this type of group, you would probably want to have the most visible place where you can see everything that's going on. So you imagine that's probably where anyone of leadership role would probably be placed.
Like a foreman.
Like a
Yeah.
foreman or what have you.
Do you know what's
Cool.
in the word foreman? Man.
I was
I'm
going
gonna
to
say four.
say 4.
That's also true.
I don't like it here. How dare you?
there are 2
Sorry.
words in that word.
4 and man and form.
Never doing anything.
norm.
Oh, there were 3. Oh, a lot
If
of
you
words in
just
that
jumble
word.
up the letters.
Yeah.
Ah, gosh, that made my brain hurt. That never used to happen. Would someone like myself, Garu of Town Loqua, assume that a god that is worshipped here would be a god of industry and potentially a shrine or holy space towards that god would be in the large building?
You can roll me because you didn't roll religion last time, and now you have the context for it. So I'll say you can roll religion in this area.
Really bad at religion, funnily enough.
I think
And-
that most of us here could say that.
5.
Like for us, it's just like gossip.
Yeah, because it's just, we don't have to
Current
think about
events.
it. We're just the subject of a religion.
I mean, it's a bunch of. I'm not sure. Usually, if you because you've encountered like golems before. Usually, if they worship anyone, it's like whoever created them, which is usually
okay.
immortal. So that
Okay.
wouldn't quite.
Interesting.
That doesn't. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Hmm.
So maybe I'll ask one of the sentry guards nearby if there's one. Do you have a sacred space in this lovely encampment?
I do not understand the question.
Do you have a... Where do you get tuned up?
At the repair shop.
Which is where?
They point to underneath the foreman's office. You see, it's actually not enclosed, but you see like what looks to be some sort of workshop where you see husks of the automatons that seem to be powered down, and you see like again that little smaller metal figure that seems to be making some sort of sparks on one thing on a bench.
Would I just so so would you call that like it's a repair? Sorry, I ruined it because I'm so delighted.
Oh no.
You would call that a like a body shop?
I suppose.
You're coming
Right,
for my
so-
job,
So
Solia.
Garu, I think that won't work because I've heard recently that they're pretty unholy.
Yeah. Love it.
Yes. However,
How to introduce a level 20 monster.
Oh no.
oh no, we've angered him. You've angered him. Let me just. Molly angered you, Sam. It was not I. I would never.
How to
Harass
deal with
shows up.
players who throw other players under the bus.
Oh no.
Gary will say this aloud to you too, but mortals use belief and religion to fix sometimes. So that's why I was thinking repairs, where these beings get tuned up and aligned and repaired. There might be some sort of sacredness to it. Would you care to check out the repair shop with me?
I would
Even if
be
it is
fascinated.
unholy.
Especially if it's unholy.
Oh,
I mean,
Solio!
No, I was just kidding.
Who knows? I mean,
But yes,
maybe
I will.
something unholy is at the bottom of all this.
Perhaps.
And as we go, it would only be active for a minute, but I would like to cast Summon Lesser Servitor to summon a bird. Just probably like, I guess just a little crow. And I say to it, if you could just do a quick little loop around the area from up above, see if you see any humanoid creatures. Just give out a caw in a direction when you come back. So 1 for north, 2 for south, 3 for east, 4 for west. Report back. Be free.
And just in the encampment itself or around?
Just in the encampment, because I feel like at this point, have we only seen automatons?
In this, as once you left the arena, all you saw were automatons at that point.
Then looking for life that could talk to us. That's not a robot.
Got it. Why? What's wrong with robots?
Nothing's wrong with robots. I'm just very curious to see if there are only robots here.
Yeah.
Because someone was growing food.
Just a question.
Someone was
so-
growing food. Poor
so-
man.
I'm not trying to get canceled by Big Bot.
Big Bot's gonna come in.
Not sponsored
Body
by
shop.
Big Bot.
I'm also not trying to get canceled by Bottoms.
Hey.
Much harder.
Yeah.
Rude. So you as the servitor is patrolling, you go to the repair shop and you see the little figure moving, like kind of finishing one weld and closing up the body of this figure, and you see the lights go back on, and you see it, the smaller one kind of looks and goes, "How are you feeling?" And the other one goes, "Bop beep bop 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 beep bop bop boop bop bop," and the other one shakes its head and just goes, "Looks like you will need to be seen by Foreman in order to be actually repaired." And then the table moves and places the other one next to the other husks. Another husk comes out. This one is its head is on the wrong way. So it's currently laid down as if its belly is down, but the head is currently twisted up, and just goes, "How did you get like this? I do not know. Please help. This feels very strange." And the thing kind of like tries to make some sort of adjustment, but it's very trying to. It seems very confused by what it's attempting to do. throughout, you see this seems to be the one worker in this shop. You also see a variety of different tools around. But what catches your attention is a little, because you're demigods, you can spot a shrine from a mile away. This is a tiny little shrine that has, it feels like the steel parts, a mixture of steel parts were formed into some sort of little like stand, and on that stand stands a hammer, and you read a little plaque that says blessed by Bartho.
Blessed by Bartho.
Can I do a religion check to see if I know?
Yep.
Bartho. Oh. 14.
No, you don't know who Bartho is. You do have an idea that this probably is a demigod under Argoth. And you do remember a steel figure in your dream that was among the group next to Argoth. But that's all you remember right now.
Okay. And there's no sense coming from the shrine of any like power or connection. It's just kind of like cold.
It looks, you can spot that it's in the shape of a shrine, but much like Celthia's, there does seem to be something missing. You can't quite put your finger on it though.
Getting any vibes off it?
No, it seems like it's out.
Well, maybe, like Dushunt, the foreman has some sort of connection with Bartho. Maybe the foreman is a holy person.
Could be.
It's kind of bleak.
Sorry, Zareb, you can continue talking after this. Zareb, what is the servitor's perception?
Oh, I should probably think about that. Ooh, I don't actually know.
I don't know if servitors have your same stats in that way.
Let me look up a stat block for it. It does not seem to say. There are options on servitors.
You said summon lesser servitor? Was that what you did?
Yeah. I did say summon lesser servitor. Because it's got different stat blocks, but I just said just a little crow.
Oh, crow. Okay, I'll use Raven for this.
Plus one
Both
verb.
Corvids, right?
Yep.
Yeah, plus 5.
Crows.
Okay.
Ravens.
Great. Hold on.
Magpies.
Okay.
Birds that'll swoop and talk about you.
Spicy little birds.
Yeah.
The crow comes back and gives you the caw of seeing movement on the west side of the encampment, which is currently the side that you are on.
Okay. Well, it would seem that
It's not noticing the three of you. It's someone besides the three
that
of
was
you.
my follow-up. That was my follow-up
Yeah,
question.
I was about to say, I was like, oh, dang. Not
It
always
noticed
a
it noticed
privilege.
3 near the shrine too.
Right.
3 of them.
Well, it turns out that there happen to be some humanoids or some organic being that is not an automaton in the general vicinity that we're also in.
We should search.
I agree.
Yes.
I'm also just going to take one of the extra garlicky skewers that I had left over and just have that around in case anyone's attracted by the scent.
Good idea. Always good to bring a gift as well.
Mm.
Great. Do you give the crow any other like directions regarding how to tell you where the where it is?
Just general directions, just a number of cause for direction, because it only lasts for a very short time and it's probably already up.
Great. So you search this whole repair shop does not seem to have anyone besides this little repairing bot and the husks of other servitors, like kind of awaiting repair at some point. Everything that you're encountering currently seems to be automaton. I guess roll me perception checks.
Alright. I don't want to roll that one.
Ha! Nat 20. Ha ha. Hey. Who?
Maybe I should have rolled the other one.
I got
11.
And I got an unnatural 20.
Mm.
You
Hey,
see,
yeah.
Garu.
Yes.
You see you notice that some of them will do the like, hi, how are you? Good, how are you? That is the end of this conversation, and they'll continue on from there. You see one automaton that's walking. Another automaton comes up and goes, hi, how are you? And the other automaton just keeps on walking, completely ignoring them. And the one that then turns around and says, that was rude, and then keeps on walking.
The rude one has to be immortal.
That was not my intended
I can't fault that
lesson
logic,
to learn
honestly.
from that, but here we are.
Well, no, I mean it's because they have an agenda. They're doing their own thing. So maybe we follow that one, and he'll point to whichever one they saw.
Great. You follow the automaton. Are you trying to be stealthy about this, or are you trying to just follow?
No, just to be like, excuse me, good bot.
It takes a second, and then the bot turns around and looks at you and goes, can I help you?
Yes, potentially. Yes, potentially you can. I am Gary, and these are my friends, and we just wondered, we had a surplus of dinner food. Would you enjoy a skewer? It smells just so good.
Very portable.
Very portable as well.
Wafted in the air.
We do not have anything besides gruel in this encampment. How did you get any supplies? Did you forage?
We did forage. We did. And some beautiful, beautiful produce in this here part. And I know gruel is the norm, but we just felt that we needed to share. And you just look like someone who is very good at sharing.
Some beautiful produce? Question mark.
Yes, there was a garden that we came across, and the sentry bots that we were with.
Are you
didn't
fucking
seem-
kid? I mean, How?
I'm
That
sorry,
seems
what was
odd
that?
that there's a garden nearby.
But is it though? Because a little birdie told us that you may not be as mechanical as you seem.
But if you are, that's okay. We can take our skewer and leave. Let's go.
Honestly, this one turned out pretty nicely, but the automatons here apparently don't eat, so
Yeah, it's a shame.
That's true. None of us
I'd like to
eat.
keep an ear out for the sound of any rumbling tummies. Because we've eaten.
Roll me a perception.
I would love to roll perception. No! Before perception, so 6.
Yeah, you don't
I hear my own
you
stomach
don't hear
rumbling.
anything that that would give that away as easily. Well, this I am glad that you were able to find food that seemed to be good for you. Are you the guests that were brought here?
The very same. Yes, we're very, very excited to get to see this beautiful place.
Mortal says what?
Nah.
Man.
That was
Wait, does it go, nah?
that was literally a nat 20 to resist that.
Oh,
Dang, they're good.
man.
Do you have an appointment with the foreman tomorrow?
We do indeed. Tomorrow, in the middle of the first shift.
Yep.
That is incorrect. You will
Mid-morning?
see the foreman when the clock strikes midnight. Go to the foreman office at midnight.
When the clock strikes midnight. Now, that seems rather arcane and magical, doesn't it?
What
Ooh,
do you
fun.
mean?
This, the clock strikes midnight. That's like when everybody, turns into a gourd of some sort, or goes to a ball, or
That has been
You know.
attempted. It does not work out very well.
really.
Wow.
And do you know much about this gourd transformation trick?
Sounds itchy.
It does not go well. That is all I will speak about it.
So, are you going to pretend more that you are one of these mechanical automaton beings, or should we go elsewhere to have this conversation?
Goodbye. And starts walking up to the foreman's office and then knocks on the door and then opens the door and enters and closes it behind them.
While still in earshot, I'm just gonna say, that automaton seems very rude.
Mm-hmm.
Strange.
Yes. That is not an automaton. That is a automatman. Dang it, it doesn't work. Or woman. Or non-binary beauty. We really do not know. But I also have
No
a
way to know.
hunch that they're the foreman. Just checking on things. Because, it has to be lonely to be the foreman in a sea of machination,
Could be.
Or they are like one of the only other humans here and was told that there was only gruel. You know.
Yeah.
Either way, I think we should maybe bring some skewers.
How big did the garden seem? Did it seem like a personal garden, like enough for like one person, or larger than that?
You spent enough time there. It looks like it definitely it looks larger than a personal garden,
Mhm.
but it definitely was kept in such a way that it doesn't have a team of people that's attempting to keep it healthy.
Okay. Well,
Got it.
apparently we've got a midnight soiree.
I love a midnight soiree. I
It does seem
do not
romantic.
have the right clothes for it, though. It's a shame.
I assumed it was a come as you are kind of deal.
Right. Right. I just like making an entrance sometimes. Well,
Great. So what do y'all do?
I play the entire Secret Garden soundtrack in my head.
So are
how
we
could I
okay to
know?
fast forward to midnight?
Hell yeah.
Great. Midnight is very
More
easy to
skewers.
hear because you hear 12 very loud gongs, as if a hammer is hitting an anvil. And you also know it's midnight because almost out of the darkness, one of the automatons appears
Ah,
in in the dungeon area and goes, "You will follow me. If you
Probably.
try to leave or run away, you will be executed immediately."
yep.
Oh,
This is
what
the
was
same
it
one
called?
from earlier. Oh, sorry, what did you think?
Oh, we weren't gonna try.
We'll
That
be
is
good.
good because you would be executed, and then starts walking to the foreman's. At like, it's one of those ones where like walks a little too fast for you, so you have to jog, but also is a little slower than your jogging speed, so you have to kind of keep up
The
and also like
worst.
not walk
It-
too so you're too far back. Yeah.
Mm.
And the frustrating thing is also silent the entire 5-minute walk to the foreman's office. And then as the as he approaches, it does a knock on the door, and then it opens the door and says, "The foreman will see you now."
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'll enter.
Yeah.
Ditto.
You see what looks like a huge workshop. Like there's a huge husk of an automaton that you did not see out there. That looks like it's still in the bit of being built. You see tools everywhere. You see schematics and diagrams of the various automatons. You see one crossed out that said like loser, and it has this year's year on it. And then all of that, and then you turn to your right and you see on the bench, standing on top of the bench, is a short halfling woman with scraggly hair everywhere and dust-ridden goggles on. Takes off the goggles, and you see the like clearly covered in soot, so the goggle made an imprint on there. And she goes, "All right then. So what are you doing here in my forge?" That's gonna be how we end our session.
Nice.
Yes.
I was hoping for Victorian England bullshit, and I got it a little
you
bit.
got it. You got it.
Ugh,
Mm,
Oh my goodness.
yay!
very nice.
I love.
That is, we will be back for episode 4 coming up. I always have to check the calendar for this because it's always it's every 2 weeks, and that is going to be on the 13th, Tuesday the 13th. So we will be back then as they find out how to encounter this foreman. But before we do that, thank you so much for everyone who joined this evening. I was very, very happy to see you all. Anyone who has anything they would like to plug or say, please feel free to speak your minds or forever hold your peace.
Friday night, right here on Clickety Clackety Roll to Attack the Smoggles and I are in a lovely Dark Lanterns Eberron super spy shenanigan filled Pathfinder or D&D game. So come on by for that. Things are a little wild over there.
Ooh.
It's fun.
I am also seen on twitch.tv/smoggles11. That is where my gaming channel is. This week, we will be continuing through Dredge, which is a way more terrifying Lovecraftian fishing game than I ever thought it was going to be. And then I will continue to treat Koroks with the utmost care in Tears of the Kingdom. And maybe at this point I'll actually go for the main quest or something, because I've just been exploring Central Hyrule so far.
Wow.
I have not actually done any of the
quest.
main quest so far. So we'll see. But that's gonna be on Saturday. So Thursday's Dredge and Saturday's that.
Next
go ahead.
Wednesday, tune in over on Greatest Guardians Gaming for the conclusion of our Avatar Legends campaign. We're gonna be storming the keep.
No.
And maybe there'll be some bending. We'll throw some stuff. It'll be great.
Amazing. And on Clickety Clackety, the schedule, we have tomorrow is episode 21 of Kindred, where they're gonna follow Delmarev and head through a storm to learn more about a rebellion. And that's gonna be tomorrow. We have Friday is Eberron Dark Lanterns on Clickety Clackety, and then Pride Month is coming up, and on the final week of June, we are going to keep your eyes open for stuff from Clickety Clackety, because we will be doing a charity stream for the end of that week. It was just recently. You'll see those events on Discord if you joined our Discord, but there will be a bunch of one-shot games, and you can donate, and all funds will be going towards Trans Lifeline for that week. And that'll be starting June 25th, which, what game is it, Helena?
June 25th, we will be playing Rememorex, which is basically suburban 80s horror. You get a little bit of Stranger Things, you get a little bit of Goonies, you mix them together with some like weird, terrifying government secrets. It's a lot of fun. It's kids on bikes style. And yeah, it's gonna be great. If you're nostalgic for a time that you never lived in, like myself, it's awesome.
And thank you, Megalosaurus Rex, for the gifted sub. We
Thank
appreciate you so
That's
much.
so nice.
Thank you.
All right. So we will be back in 2 weeks with episode 4 of City of Gods. We're at that point we will be halfway through this game, which is wild. I can't believe that's actually happening. But that will be the end for tonight. Clickety Clackety, please come backety.
Come backety.
Goodbye.